Mansfield Town pay tribute to those who served and lost their lives in service to their country. As Mansfield Town players, they get warmed up, do one or two last minute stretches, and we're about to get underway in this FA Cup first round tie. Mansfield Town aiming for the second round, certainly for the fourth season in a row. Had some great days in the first round. They've beaten Sunderland a couple of times, they've beaten Chorley, they've beaten Shore Lane in recent years, some of the big names like that. Meanwhile, Wrexham, they themselves have managed to get past the likes of Coventry City, Sheffield United, etc. But here we go, Mansfield Town's FA Cup run. It could start this evening, just as the same week in which their League Cup run ended. You're going to hear it all on Match Night from BBC Radio Nottingham on 95.5 FM and online on the BBC Sport website and on 5 Sports Extra, as Davis Keeler-Dunn and Rhys Oates stand in the centre circle, do the usual jumping up and down, stretching of the legs, and we are underway. As the ball is played back to Lewis Reed. Down the line he goes to Callum Johnson. One more needed across towards Jordan Barry. Helps it on to Davis Keeler-Dunn. Cuts in on towards his right foot. Has to move it into the midfield, but he switches the play across to Bailey Cargill, playing at left back. Ollie Clark makes a run forward, but it's on towards Rhys Oates, who turns, fires it into the edge of the penalty area, looking for Ollie Clark, but it's dealt with just about by Anthony Ford and cleared away by Gareth Evans. George Evans, I beg your pardon. But the ball knocks down to Aidan Flint, who in turn can play it across to Lewis Brunt. Lightning start already, Craig Armstrong. Davis Keeler-Dunn looked well up for this game.
Yeah, great start. Started with intent, with zip, and just on the front foot.
The ball drops nicely for James Jones, trying to flick it away there, but this time it's headed on. And a nice little touch in the middle of the park by Ben Tozer, wearing the captain's armband. We know about him and his throws as he sends a long ball forward looking for Mullin, but it's not the best clearance from Lewis Brunt. Helps him field this time for Andy Cannon. On the edge of the box it goes, and it whistles wide, and Andy Cannon's shot just goes wide of Christy Pym's right hand post. Didn't quite catch it as well as he would have liked, did Andy Cannon, but again just caused Mansfield 1-2 problems. Already inside the first 90 seconds of the game they've had 1 or 2 chances.
Yeah, you know, Christy Pym was obviously a little bit more assured than we were up here, you know, as the ball was struck a goal, and fortunately we hit the right side of the post for Mansfield Town.
Ball flicked away and towards Sam Dolby. Dolby looking to go into the edge of the penalty area, still with Dolby. Aidan Flint just pokes it away. It might drop for Elliot Lee this time, who turns and finds James Jones, former crewman. This time out wide it goes to Anthony Ford. Forward it goes towards Paul Mullin. Just 1 or 2 Mansfield Town players trying to win the ball back, but Davis Keeler-Dunn does just that as Jordan Barry looks to go on his bike down the left hand side. Keeler-Dunn hits it at the ankles of the Wrexham midfielder in the form of Andy Cannon, who picks up the ball and plays it all the way back to Tom O'Connor. O'Connor forward looking for Sam Dolby. Back in field it goes to Callum Johnson, one of the 3 changes made by Nigel Clough. Here's Lewis Brunt infield to Lewis Reed. Combination of the Lewises as it's played forward again, looking for Davis Keeler-Dunn as he looks to find a yellow shirt as it's sent into the penalty area towards Rhys Oates. Stays on the side, strikes it low, big save by Okonkwo. Here's Oates again, goes to ground, and the referee points for a corner kick. Really good ball through to Rhys Oates. There's the pace, turned on immediately and got into a really good area into the right hand channel, fired it low but was denied by a really good save from Arthur Okonkwo just outside his 6-yard box.
Yeah, great start from Mansfield Town. Again, Louis Reed sort of dictating. We spoke before the game, was he going to be allowed to get on the ball and play? It looks like Wrexham are just going to sit off and let him have it.
Corner coming in into the near post, headed away by Cannon, but it'll drop for Callum Johnson, who's got Davis Keeler-Dunn on the right hand side, still with Keeler-Dunn. Back across he goes to Johnson. Matt Keeler-Dunn once again just on that right touchline as he sends the ball into the penalty area, headed up in the air before Bailey Cargill could get there. Aidan Flint is also there, and this time he'll just let that one go for a Mansfield Town throw. Bright start from Mansfield Town, and immediately can tell the difference that Rhys Oates makes to this side.
Yeah, he just wants to run in behind and stretch the game. He's a handful, he's a pain in the backside, and he just causes problems with his pace.
Well, here's Bailey Cargill, flashes it across the face of goal again. It might drop for Keeler-Dunn. A heavy touch though just allows Wrexham to clear their lines. Wrexham just being penned in at the moment, but we know the quality they've got and how they can break, as McLean plays it down the line, gets it back as well. Does McLean, has to go all the way back meanwhile to Tom O'Connor. Goes back to his goalkeeper, didn't want it there, did Arthur Okonkwo. Jordan Barry was lurking, this time it's headed clear by Lewis Reed, across he goes to Ollie Clark and back down the line to Callum Johnson, who's got one or two options to his right hand side, to his left rather. One of them is Aidan Flint. Infield to Lewis Reed, back to Flint again. Loves a good cut run again, does Aidan Flint. He's had a couple of good runs with Alfreton. Got to the fifth round with Bristol City as well, did Aidan Flint. It's forward to Lewis Reed, round the back it goes again, trying to find Rhys Oates. He seems to be hanging on the shoulder there of Tom O'Connor, and immediately you do get the feeling if Mansfield can play him down that right hand side, Rhys Oates will be in and will be causing problems.
Yeah, his pace will cause problems at the moment just because of his enthusiasm, want to get in behind. The ball there could have been a little bit better, pop it over the top instead of trying to zip it on the floor.
That's a nice ball forward though towards Paul Mullin in the penalty area. The main man for Wrexham as he jinks on towards his right foot, and again he's still got it. Nice little back heel in towards Elliot Lee, being well tracked though by Lewis Brunt, who just had to stick out a leg and concede a Wrexham corner. I think we're going to be set for some tie tonight if the first 5 minutes is anything to be based on.
Yeah, the game's quite open. I don't think this is something that Nigel would have wanted, the game to be so open. Wrexham allowing Mansfield to have the ball at times, and Mansfield trying to get the ball back off Wrexham. But you have to be mindful, Paul Mullin is a top striker at this level.
Certainly is, as the corner is going to come in from the left hand side at the Quarry Lane and all the way through towards the back post, but not dealt with by Mansfield Town. It's going to break again to Andy Cannon, 27-year-old midfielder, second season at Wrexham. Here is Cannon again, has it back down the line to Anthony Ford. This time it's played forward into the channel, and one for Lewis Brunt to clear. Up to Bailey Cargill, hooks that one down the line too. Always Lewis Reed, and off goes Davis Keeler-Dunn. Down the left hand side, it's 3 versus 3. Here is Keeler-Dunn on the edge of the penalty area, still with Keeler-Dunn. Right footed shot, it's blocked. It might break though for either a Callum Johnson or an Aaron Lewis. In the end, it's Elliot Lee who sprints and gets there first. Really good break again from Mansfield Town. It's just Keeler-Dunn at that split second moment, just wasn't entirely sure which way he was going to go, and in the end the shot is blocked. Meanwhile, it's going to be I think it's a foul throw in the end. It was taken quickly by Mansfield Town. The referee and the linesman didn't like it, and in the end Wrexham were going to get a throw. Yeah,
I'm not sure there. I actually thought it was a Wrexham throw at first, and then I'm just looking now with the play, but I think the shot was deflected off a Wrexham player and went out of play and tried to take a quick throw in, and the linesman actually gave it to Mansfield and the referee gave it against.
Very strange. Not the first strange decision we've seen here this week at the One Call Stadium, as Lewis Reed picks up the loose ball and plays it all the way back to Christy Pym, wearing all blue. And here is Pym on the edge of his 18-yard box, booted downfield up for either a Rhys Oates or a Jordan Barry. Might spin away though for Ollie Clark. Down this left hand side, he goes past one and past another, plays it back to Bailey Cargill, needed a good touch and got one. Infield is Davis Keeler-Dunn, who looks to twist and turn, nearly scored a wonderful goal against Wrexham at the Quarry Lane end just over a month ago. Span past a couple of players and fired that one towards the top corner, and it just whistled wide, but as it is, he looks hungry tonight against Wrexham as it's played through to Barry. Nice touch into Davis Keeler-Dunn, who couldn't quite get it in his stride, but Rhys Oates gets there first and does well. Still with Rhys Oates, charging down on the Wrexham goal. Still with Oates as he looks to fire it. Took a touch and he tried to bend it in. Might fall for Keeler-Dunn on his left foot. Strikes it low. Oh, it goes wide of the mark. Davis Keeler-Dunn turned one way, then the other, got onto his left foot and just couldn't quite find it into the bottom corner. Arthur Okonkwo was beaten, but so was that far post.
Yeah, great start again from Mansfield. Good interplay in tight areas, sort of into the middle with Keeler-Dunn trying to weave his magic, and ball force to Rhys Oates, comes on his right foot, gets blocked back to Keeler-Dunn, goes to shoot with his right foot, chops on his left and just puts it wide of the post. What's really good to see is that you've got Jordan Barry up top with Rhys Oates, and when the ball goes into Jordan Barry, he's getting a hold of it, and as soon as he gets a hold of it, people are running off him, so you're just getting people a lot closer to the centre forwards.
Aidan Flint with a big commanding header from the back. The back spin, the ball drops to Jordan Barry, who's sort of playing the Lucas Akins role this evening, while Lucas Akins recovers from his head injury. Hopefully he'll be back for Salford a week today. You'd hope, as it's sent across. We'll get the thoughts of Nigel Clough, of course, after this game on BBC Radio Nottingham. It's back with Anthony Ford, tries to jink his way through the Mansfield Town back line at the moment, but he has to play it across to James Jones. Infield it goes to Andy Cannon, still with Cannon. Back to James Jones down this right hand side, and it's well won by Ollie Clark, and Mansfield can go once again as Barry steps in. He just has it nicked off him though by James Jones, who in turn pokes it away to the right hand side for Anthony Ford. Trying to charge forward down that right hand side. It's Bailey Cargill who does get there first, pokes it back. Poor ball though, gives it straight to Sam Dolby. Here is Ford on the overlap, ball into the penalty area. It's just about side footed clear by Aidan Flint. Not the best moment there from Bailey Cargill, who did well in the first instance. Meanwhile, Ollie Clark slides in and wins it back. High ball over the top for Rhys Oates, trying to get there ahead of Okonkwo, but Okonkwo read the danger and was very quick off his line and gathers and bowls it out short as Mansfield Town look to try and apply the press via Davis Keeler-Dunn, trying to force the mistake. And meanwhile, Wrexham still have it with Dolby, and there is a mistake from Dolby. It goes out of play for a Mansfield Town throw. 9 gone, 0-0.
Yeah, good start by Mansfield Town, really on the front foot, getting balls into forward areas really early and trying to get runners off them. And this game's really open at the moment, so this can go either way.
It's two very good sides at the moment, and Mansfield Town is slightly edging it. A couple of chances for Mansfield Town. Oates and Davis Keeler-Dunn having the best of them. Meanwhile, Bailey Cargill turns and finds Aidan Flint looking to charge over the halfway line, pushes the ball out in front of him. It plays I thought it was playing a nice ball through to Rhys Oates, but it was behind Oates. It goes out towards the left-hand side. Ball cleared away by Wrexham onto the head of Bailey Cargill, up to halfway to Davis Keeler-Dunn, who controls it for Lewis Brunt. Across he goes to the halfway line for Aidan Flint, who just stops it for Lewis Reid to bring out from the back. Here is Reid, back to Callum Johnson, back to Lewis Reid again, who has had a couple of appearances in the FA Cup, 20 in all. He got to the 5th round in 2015 for Sheffield United under the stewardship of Nigel Clough. And the long ball forward from him doesn't find Aaron Lewis, and it goes out of play for a Wrexham throw. 10 gone, Mansfield Town 0, Wrexham 0. FA Cup first round, Notts County already through after beating Crawley in the earlier game. They've won 3-2. A goal for Dan Crowley, David McGoldrick and Macaulay Langstaff, seeing Notts into the hat for the second round. And let's see if Mansfield Town can join them there in tomorrow's draw, as the ball is hooked clear by James McLean. And this time Mansfield Town trying to charge and win the ball back, but they can't, as it's sent high for Paul Mullin. Linesman's flag stays down. Paul Mullin still has it, but he's in the end beaten to it by Aidan Flint and a couple of Mansfield Town players who swarmed around Paul Mullin. That's going to be the main aim tonight for Mansfield Town. Make sure that Paul Mullin doesn't get a kick.
Yeah, definitely. What's been really good in the start that Mansfield had, every time balls go into any Wrexham player, you've got 2 or 3 players trying to swarm around and win the ball back very quickly, as quick as they can, because not giving Wrexham time to settle, but you've just got to be mindful. I think Louis Reid being on the ball helps dictate the play, and you think he's had more touches in the first 10 minutes than he did in the whole game against Port Vale on Tuesday.
Aidan Flint sends a high ball forward. It's a good one as well, on towards Aaron Lewis. Takes a nice touch. Ball into the box is blocked though by Elliot Lee. It was a lovely pass from Aidan Flint. Seems to stay in the air for ages, and then there was Aaron Lewis down that right hand side. Ball played short to Callum Johnson, back in the starting lineup after recovering from a hamstring injury, as Aidan Flint fires that one into the penalty area. It's almost onto the chest of Jordan Barry. It will break for Davis Keeler-Dunn on towards his right foot, looking to curl it, but instead goes wide to Callum Johnson. Pushes the ball out in front of him, fires that ball into the area, but it's high and wide and out of play for a goal kick. Again, you can see the energy that Callum Johnson has got down that right hand side, and he's going to have to impress, because it's going to take some doing to knock Jordan Barry out that spot. Yeah, it is, and you know what, he's got a point to prove. He's found it very tough to get back in the side after picking up an injury, and this is a great stage for him to showcase what he can do. Mansfield have reached the second round in the last 4 seasons, got to round 3 back in 2021 and in 2020. It's been just a couple of games where they've been one tie away from getting a big game like Manchester City or someone like that. I remember Cheltenham beat them a couple of seasons ago. They got Man City. Cardiff did the same. They also got Manchester City. And you're thinking, why can't it be Mansfield? But who knows? Maybe this is the season. Here is Lewis Brunt looking for an option, looking for a yellow shirt, finds one in Ollie Clark, just offering some support. Lewis Reid meanwhile has it down the left hand side, fires that one left footed up towards Rhys Oates, who just lets that one run for Jordan Barry, who tries to take it past Ben Tozer. Tozer had to stick out a long 6'3" leg and knock that one out of play for a Mansfield Town throw, taken short to Rhys Oates. Bailey Cargill wants it down this left hand side, left wing position, hooks it onto the edge of the area for Lewis Reid, try and side foot as it's played through, back to Reid again on the edge of the box. Bit of a clash going on in the Wrexham penalty area, not dealt with, and eventually Wrexham just stick a foot through it and get rid. Mansfield Town certainly applying the pressure, and there's mistakes in there. Yeah, there is, and it's again good interplay by Louis Reid and Keeler-Dunn, and just trying to get little passes in, pass 1-2s in around the edge of the box, and Wrexham just struggling to deal with it. Well, there's Keeler-Dunn looking to curl one goalwards, and it's into the gloves of Arthur Okonkwo. Straight at him in the end. Keeler-Dunn just couldn't quite pick out a corner with his shot. It was about 20 yards out or so. Certainly looks up for it tonight, does Davis Keeler-Dunn. He's had a couple of good moments, some nice touches and one or two good chances as well. Ball played forward by Wrexham, this time headed away by Lewis Brunt, who's got the task of marking Paul Mullin this evening. He scored 8 goals in the FA Cup last season, including a hat-trick against Farnborough. And also scored against Sheffield United and against Coventry too, so he loves a good cup run, does Paul Mullin, and hopefully that cup run will end tonight. Mansfield Town can keep him at bay. Clearance down the right hand side though for Mansfield Town. Wrexham throw down the left hand side. Again, the rain still coming down. It's pretty misty. It's very light rain here at the One Call Stadium. We weren't entirely sure whether the game would be on or not. It's very muddy, and the pitch hasn't really had that much time to recover from Tuesday night's game against Port Vale, but as it is, game on, mud and rain. Perfect setting for the FA Cup first round, as the long throw is going to be coming in from Ben Tozer. And they've got some big hitters in there as well, as Ben Tozer actually sends it short to Paul Mullin, trying to catch Mansfield out. Back towards Ben Tozer down the left hand side, helps it in field to Tom O'Connor. Ball into the box, it's not quite blocked this time. O'Connor plays it back into the penalty area. It's picked up by Andy Cannon. This time Cannon's cross is blocked by Callum Johnson, and this time his clearance might find Rees, but Ben Tozer in the end does very well to play that ball back down the line for James McLean. Infield it goes as it's stepped away by Elliot Lee. Challenge comes in by Ollie Clark, and that'll be a free kick to Wrexham, 35-40 yards from goal. Also, Elliot Lee is quick, and once he's just got that slight split second ahead of it, there's only going to be one result. Yeah, good challenge in the end really, because the ball was kept alive by Ben Tozer. There was an opportunity there for a counter-attack. If there was a little bit more calm of the ball being played out, you had Rees Oates, and you also had, I think, Bowery bombing forward, but the ball was turned over. Ben Tozer kept it alive, and they've got some good quality in Wrexham's front line. They certainly do. James McLean, former Irish international, who's retiring at the end of the season from international football, is on this free kick. 40 yards out or so, left hand side, fires it into the penalty area. It's flicked away towards I think it was aiming for Mullin, but in the end it came off a Mansfield Town man last, although the Mansfield Town players certainly don't agree with that. It did look like it came off Elliot Lee perhaps, but as it is, it'll be a corner kick to Wrexham, the second of the night. Yeah, need to defend this really, really well. We've got some really good delivery from set players, Wrexham have, and we've got some big boys at the back, so we've got to get ahead on it, get the first contact and make sure we clear our lines. It will be James McLean, 34-year-old experienced midfielder, fires that one into the penalty area. It's headed away and just about dealt with by Lewis Reid, although the ball doesn't quite bounce as well as he would have liked. It's going to come back into the Mansfield Town penalty area, this time headed away by Jordan Bowery, and Mansfield can get out once again as Aaron Lewis tries to charge down the defender, but this time it's a good ball hooked back into the 18-yard box by Andy Cannon, but Mansfield dispossess Wrexham via Ollie Clark. Down the line he goes to Keeler-Dunn, turns it infield to Lewis Reid as he helps it on to Aidan Flint, and Mansfield can go again, this time Flint down the line to Callum Johnson. 16 and a half gone, 0-0, but Johnson goes into the channel looking for Rees Oates, needs bodies in the area, good ball across, and there was Bowery, but it was in front of him and Keeler-Dunn and Aaron Lewis. It misses them all and goes out of play for a Wrexham throw deep inside their own half. Great ball from Rees Oates, great ball to him as well by Callum Johnson, and again it maybe just was too good, the ball into the penalty area. Yeah, it was great build-up play from Mansfield Town. Louis Reid picks up the ball in midfield. Rees Oates actually spins in behind and he's offside, and Louis keeps the ball moving into Callum Johnson. Then Callum Johnson does slip Rees Oates down the line, who is onside, and he puts a fierce ball across the 6-yard box, just a little bit ahead of Jordan Bowery. Here's Elliot Lee, who turns on a sixpence, past one, past two, and looks to release Sam Dolby down the right hand side, and off go Wrexham with Dolby charging towards the penalty area, skips past one. Here is Dolby, strikes it low, and it's a really good save from Christy Pym, saved low with his feet as Dolby tricked his way past his man, got into the right hand channel, drove it low towards Christy Pym's bottom corner, but Pym was equal to it. Huge save as the ball comes back into the area, not quite dealt with by Mansfield Town. It might drop for Paul Mullin on the edge of the box. Here is Sam Dolby on towards his left foot, helps it on towards Elliot Lee to strike. It's a big block from Davis Keeler-Dunn, throw everything at it. And this time the ball spins away and out of play for a Wrexham throw. Really big chance as Sam Dolby twisted and turned and got into the 18-yard box. We'd have fancied him to score from there, but it ended up being a really good save from Christy Pym. Yeah, great save from Christy Pym. Again, we talk about the game being quite open. Mansfield are on the attack. It's sort of turnover of possession. I don't know how it came about, and Wrexham are back into our back four, and Dolby twisted a turn, great save from Christy Pym, and again Louis Reid, I think, with a follow-up of a block on the edge of the box, which ricocheted out for a throw-on. Had to get there. It was Elliot Lee who span away with a couple of players in front of him, played a good ball down the right hand side for Sam Dolby. He managed to beat the fullback all ends up into the penalty area, but as it is, Christy Pym keeps it at 0-0. 18.5 gone. Match night from BBC Radio Nottingham on 95.5 FM. If you're looking for the beat, that is on 103.8 and DAB digital radios. It's with Anthony Ford down the right hand side. Back in field he goes to James Jones. Here is Anthony Ford again up against Bailey Cargill. Still with Anthony Ford, sent into the penalty area, headed away. This time it's cushioned down to Lewis Reed to clear as Jordan Barry holds it up and does well. It's a really good challenge though from James Jones. A heavy touch from Barry. Here's Jones once again out of the box on towards Sam Dolby. Back to Jones. On the overlap is Anthony Ford. Ball into the penalty area towards Mullin at the back post. It's just glanced away by Aaron Lewis. Had to get there as well. Here's McLean. Still on the edge of the box. Mansfield Town under a little bit of pressure here with Anthony Ford jinking his way into the box on towards his left foot, and it just had to be snatched away from him by Ollie Clark. Just pushed it too far out in front of him, did Ford, and Mansfield Town can break once again as Bailey Cargill slices his clearance downfield. Not the best ball. It goes out of play for a Wrexham throw, but Mansfield had to survive quite a spell as the Red Dragons seized upon the Mansfield Town penalty area.
Yeah, good build-up play from Wrexham, very patient with the play. You know, good defending again, solid from Mansfield Town, really sort of well organised, putting the bodies on the line, putting blocks in there, and just being really hard to beat.
And there's Davis Keeler-Dunn looking to turn, quick feet from him as he hops it on to Ollie Clark, edge of the box, on his left foot, looks to strike it, deflects, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. That referee, Ed Duckworth, is saying that it looked like it came off a Mansfield Town player, but it looked for all the world as if it came off a Wrexham man last.
Well, it definitely came off someone, and at the moment I'm not sure who it was.
Well, the game is on TV, so we'll hopefully get a look at that very shortly. Of course, we are ahead of the TV stream, of course, but again, that's an interesting call from Ed Duckworth. I wonder what Jack and Vera will say for all you Corrie fans out there as the ball is sent clear down the right hand side. This time Jordan Barry with a neat touch plays it all the way back to Christy Pym in the Mansfield Town goal, who's been pretty busy. Just made that one very good save to deny Sam Dolby 3 or so minutes ago as it's played forward by Pym up towards Jordan Barry, tries to head it on to Rhys Oates. This time it's cleared all the way across to Anthony Ford. The one change made by Phil Parkinson. Back to Arthur Okonkwo he goes as he boots that one clear. And this time downfield it goes up to Aidan Flint, who flicks it on, trying to get Davis Keeler-Dunn involved. Unfortunately it doesn't quite drop forward, Davis Keeler-Dunn. It's a good little turn though from James McLean down the left hand side, infield to Elliot Lee, the former Luton man, key part of Wrexham's promotion back from the National League and into the Football League. This time it's played through to Tom O'Connor as he plays it forward to James McLean. Back to O'Connor again on halfway, the former Burton Gillingham man. Here's Andy Cannon, seen a lot of the ball. Is Andy Cannon down the left hand side it goes to McLean, looking to turn and try and get away from Callum Johnson, just wiggled and fired it all the way back to Tom O'Connor. Across he goes to George Evans, former Millwall, Derby and Reading man. And then fielder goes to Elliot Lee, who turns and finds James Jones. Ball into the channel, on towards Mullin, on towards Dolby, out of the box still. It's Mansfield Town trying to get the ball back from Wrexham. Good one-touch football from them, but it came to nothing in the end as Mansfield try and keep hold of the ball for the time being, but the long ball to Barry just doesn't seem to be working. It's just not quite stuck with him in the last couple of minutes or so.
No, that just comes from Wrexham sort of dominating a little bit of the last spell of football for the last sort of minute, where they're really patient. Mansfield have just got to be sort of organised and really compact in how they defend.
There's a good ball into the penalty area, which nearly tested Christy Pym. It came from James McLean down this left hand side, and now Mansfield can try and go again with Callum Johnson. Back to Aidan Flint, just outside his own 18-yard box, pushes the ball out. Mansfield have got still a lot of quality on the bench. Well, however, they do not have Hiram Boateng, who was withdrawn through illness just after the warm-up actually. The ball is back with Arthur Okonkwo, digs that ball out of the turf and boots that one out towards the Wrexham right, headed away by Bailey Cargill, poked on to the right-hand side again, played through to Anthony Ford. Forward in field, nice touch as well from Andy Cannon, who plays it through in towards Mullin into the penalty area. Here's Sam Dolby to strike it, top corner, 1-0 to Wrexham. Great ball through to Sam Dolby, who just took a touch, unleashed it with his left foot and found the top corner with a clinical finish. Outstanding goal, it has to be said, his second goal of the season with 23 minutes gone here at the One Call Stadium in this FA Cup first round tie. It's Mansfield Town 0, Wrexham 1.
Yeah, the goal comes from Aidan Flint, where he picks up the ball in sort of the middle of the pitch. He's looking for an out ball, and he goes long to Jordan Bowery. The ball's not sort of dropped into him. Jordan Bowery flicks it on, and Wrexham just regain possession, and from then on it's fantastic football from Wrexham. Ball slipped into Dolby, who just pulls on the shoulder of Aidan Flint, one touch with his right foot and puts it in the top corner with his left. Great finish.
A clinical finish from Sam Dolby, the former Southend man. You can just see the quality that Wrexham have got, and that shows why they are where they are on the certainly on the up from the National League and above. It's Mansfield Town get us back underway again. Just seen a replay of it, and it is a clinical finish. There is no stopping that is for sure. Could have two Christie Pims in there, and I can't imagine you'd have stopped that. It was fired in ferociously into the top corner. It's Mansfield Town will have to respond just like they did, or just like they had to against Port Vale on Tuesday night. It's back across to Lewis Brunt. Forward it goes to Lewis Reed, sends it across and low towards Callum Johnson, takes the touch and looks for Lewis Reed once again. Mansfield Town need to carry on doing what they have been doing so far in the game as the ball is headed away. This time Jordan Bowery will try and get the loose ball. He pokes it through the legs of the defender. Back it goes to Callum Johnson, who in turn finds Aidan Flint. 25 gone. Match night from BBC Radio Nottingham, 1-0 to Wrexham in the FA Cup. Match day back with you tomorrow, by the way. Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa. Full live commentary from the City Ground. Build up from 1, kick off at 2 as the ball is sent across to Rhys Oates. Takes a lovely touch and tries to just jink his way into the penalty area, but he was beaten to it in the end by a couple of Wrexham players. Rhys Oates scrambling away to try and win the ball back, and the ball is given away to Lewis Reed down the line for Bailey Cargill. Up against Ben Tozer, still with Bailey Cargill, jinks into the penalty area, still has it. Bailey Cargill on his own as he looks to help it on towards Lewis Reed to strike, but he caught it well enough, but he couldn't get it on target. Great run from Bailey Cargill, beat 1, beat 2 into the left hand channel, helped it on to Lewis Reed, who tried to strike it low into the bottom corner but could only find the advertising hoardings just behind the goal. Big chance.
Yeah, good chance, good play from Bailey Cargill. You know, he's pushed on into a sort of an advanced wide area. Bit of trickery, little nutmeg through 1, then 2 players, then just pulls it back on the edge of the box for Louis Reid, who just drags his shot wide. Good play from Mansfield Town.
Here's Elliot Lee turning past Davis Keeler-Dunn, low centre of gravity as he wants the ball all the time. As Andy Cannon just helps it on and plays it all the way back to Ben Tozer. This time Tozer keeping hold of it, has to go all the way across to Tom O'Connor, the former Burton man, as it's still with O'Connor trying to play one around the back for Paul Mullin, and Aidan Flint makes sure he went no further than the edge of the 18-yard box. It's a nice touch from Jordan Bowery, just wouldn't quite go out of play. This time it's poked all the way back to Ben Tozer, although it's not the best ball from Tozer. Manages to get it back though from Andy Cannon as Tozer brings it out from the back once again, pushes it out to the left hand side for McLean, and Mansfield do win it with Aaron Lewis as it's played through, and it might fall for Rhys Oates here, still with Rhys Oates trying to drink one way then the other, trying to strike it, but he got plenty behind it, swung at it in the end with his left foot, and it goes high and wide of Arthur Okonkwo's goal and into the travelling Wrexham supporters in the North Stand. Mansfield Town have responded well, had one decent chance. Rhys Oates there trying to make something of nothing really.
Yeah, just got a little bit impatient there. Really good endeavour again from Rhys Oates. You know, he's flurrying on his own at times just because Barry's happened to drop and try and link the play, and he pulls onto his left foot. He's got runners on the outside of him, he's got runners coming up on the right. He just decides to lash it with his left foot, which isn't his strongest, and just puts it way over the bar.
The ball forward towards Rhys Oates, doesn't quite find him there as Mansfield lose it. Here's Elliot Lee trying to jink his way through. In fact, it's Andy Cannon, I beg your pardon. It looked like Elliot Lee there, but he tried to play it through. And then it's well dealt with by Bailey Cargill as Ollie Clark steps on it and leaves it for Davis Keeler-Dunn. Jordan Bowery wants it down the right hand side. It's a good ball out to Bowery as well. Takes the one on the chest and pushes it out towards the right hand side. Couldn't quite though get past Tom O'Connor, although Bowery will try and use his endeavour and win it back, and he does as he plays it into the gap for Callum Johnson, right hand side just in front of the byline. The ball just about volley clear, not very far though from Wrexham as Mansfield try and win it back. Corner given as it's not the best ball back from the Wrexham defender, and Mansfield Town will happily take that corner, but that all came from the pressure on on Wrexham via Mansfield Town as they tried to force the mistake.
Yeah, Mansfield have done that quite well at times. They've got bodies around players and put Wrexham under pressure. I just think Wrexham have got a lot of quality to sort of hurt Mansfield on the counter attack, and on this occasion the referee gave the right decision and gave a corner.
Davis Keeler-Dunn standing over it on the far side in front of the scoreboard, and he drills it into the penalty area. It's headed away just outside the 6-yard box. Booty clear, but this time Callum Johnson steps on the ball. There's a big splash of mud as he plays it down the line. I think he might be offside, Davis Keeler-Dunn. No, he's kept it in play. Cross coming in as well. It's missed by Lewis Brunt. It might fall for Aaron Lewis to strike. Caught it well enough, but again, it wasn't on target. Great strike in the end from Aaron Lewis, but again, it was about a foot wide of Arthur Okonkwo's left-hand post. It stays at 1-0 to the visitors. We've played nearly half an hour, 28 and a half gone, 1-0 to Wrexham, but Mansfield again have responded well. Yeah, they have, and there's a little bit of surface water settling on the pitch. You know, the rain's still coming down. It's not obviously teeming down, but it's a little bit sort of fine, you know, the one that gets you wet. It's and there's obviously a little bit of water on the touch lines on the side of the pitch, and Mansfield got to be mindful themselves on back passes just in case it holds up. That wet rain. As Lewis Reed hooks it up in the air and volleys it forward for Davis Keeler-Dunn. It's just slipping under his studs at the moment. The weather certainly not helping Mansfield in this case. Meanwhile, here come Wrexham again with McLean. He runs into his man as Mansfield win it back, but Elliot Lee fires it into the penalty area, in towards Sam Dolby to strike it. Hits the frame of the goal, bounces away, and this time Mansfield Town will clear. Same place, same time again for Sam Dolby, but thankfully the woodwork comes to Mansfield's rescue, and Wrexham a whisker away from doubling their lead here. Yeah, Sam Dolby again, really good football, good movement, just to pull on the shoulder, just a little clever pass from Wrexham midfield player, just slipped him in, and Sam Dolby again just smashes off the crossbar. Mansfield Town have got away with one there. It was a really cute pass into the left-hand channel, and in the end Sam Dolby, of course it was Elliot Lee who made that pass. Who else would it be? As it's back across to James Jones. Ball on the edge of the penalty area towards Jones once again. Edge of the box. Plays it out to the right hand side for Anthony Ford. As Ford tries to jink his way past Bailey Cargill as he fires that ball into the area. It's flicked on and it's out of play for a goal kick. Sam Dolby there once again trying to cause Mansfield to have problems, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's scored one. He's hit the bar with one, and he nearly had another one. Yeah, what you've got is you've got two really good strikers for Wrexham who just are clever, who want to play on shoulders, and and they've got players in and around them who can find them. Here's Ollie Clark, sends it across to Aaron Lewis, just over the halfway line as he plays it early forward towards Jordan Barry. The ball sticks to his feet as he helps it on to Callum Johnson, looking to run past his man as Johnson goes onto the edge of the area, pokes it through into the gap for Jordan Barry. Good ball across the face of goal, it spins away, might fall for Bailey Cargill to strike, but he slices it and it goes out of play off a Wrexham man and for a corner kick. Really good ball again across the face of goal. It slipped under the studs of one or two Mansfield Town players and Wrexham players for that matter. It fell to Bailey Cargill, but I think to score from there might have taken some asking, that is for sure, but he gets the corner out of it. 31 gone, 1-0 to Wrexham, but Mansfield responding well. FA Cup first round on BBC Radio Nottingham. Corner kick as Davis Keeler-Dunn fires it in right footed. It's drops by Arthur Okonkwo. It will fall again to Callum Johnson across to Davis Keeler-Dunn. Ball into the area. There is Aidan Flint, a good punch away again from Arthur Okonkwo, certainly earning his corner this evening in the Wrexham goal, on loan from Arsenal of course, as it's played all the way back by Lewis Reed to Christy Pym, and that ball certainly travelled from Lewis Reed. A long ball back to Pym, who in turn sends a high ball forward as Aidan Flint goes down, and that will be a free kick after a bit of a tussle with George Evans. And Mansfield Town have got a free kick in a good area as well, and at the moment Mansfield Town are asking all the questions in search of an equaliser. Yeah, they are, and that's really clever, experienced play from Aidan Flint there. He's having a wrestle. The ball's being played back by Louis Reed all the way back to Christy Pym. Fans are going mental because they're thinking what you're doing, and all they're doing is getting the ball recycled back to Christy Pym, who goes long into Aidan Flint, who just he's wrestling and jostling to try and get a bit of space and draws a free kick in a dangerous position. Well, the referee, Ed Duckworth, just having a quick word actually, I think, with Paul Mullin and George Evans. He's actually booked George Evans as well for that infringement on Aidan Flint, and it will be a free kick to Mansfield Town. Left hand side, about 10 yards outside the penalty area, left wing position ish, but it will be Davis Keeler-Dunn to try and fire that one into the box. Maybe a little bit too far out and a bit too wide in terms of shooting distance. You'll have to be some hit to beat Arthur Okonkwo from there. But you never know with Davis Keeler-Dunn, who Nigel Clough has said has frustrated him at times with some of his chances, but we shall see what he can produce here from this set piece. 32 and a half gone, nearly 33 now gone. In fact, FA Cup first round, Live from the One Call Stadium, free kick. Davis Keeler-Dunn dinks that one into the back post towards Aidan Flint. It comes back out to the edge of the 6-yard box and booted clear by Andy Cannon. Hits the scoreboard and goes out of play for a Mansfield throw, to be taken quickly, I think, by Aaron Lewis. Although actually he's taken the sting out of it a little bit and he's looking for a yellow shirt. Your thoughts on that set piece, Craig?
Yeah, I thought it was a decent hot ball. You know, they've obviously worked on something to get the ball to the back post and aim for Brunt and Aidan Flynn and all the big boys. And you know, Wrexham are a good side, and they've got some big boys in the side themselves who've just managed to get the header on and put out for a throw on.
Well, the throw came in and it fell to Bailey Cargill, who couldn't quite get it under his spelt, and after a bit of pressure from Wrexham, they shepherded the ball out of play for a goal kick, which Arthur Okonkwo is taking his time to take. Plenty of history between these two sides, of course, as you've been hearing earlier on BBC Radio Nottingham. Mansfield beat Wrexham on the final day to get promoted back to the Football League back in 2013, 10 years ago now, back when it was the Blue Square Premier League. Those were the days, Craig? As the ball is back.
Yeah, I remember it.
I
remember the Blue Square.
It's back with George Evans, who in turn finds the goalkeeper Arthur Okonkwo, who sends it all the way across to Tom O'Connor. It's got James McLean in support, but O'Connor doesn't need it. He plays it into the midfield. It's a loose ball as Ollie Clark is onto it immediately. Still with Ollie Clark looking to turn. He needs an option as he pokes that one towards Davis Keeler-Dunn into the channel. Ball across the face of goal, and it's blocked in the end by George Evans, who did well to recover. Loose ball from Wrexham, seized upon by Mansfield Town, and they just couldn't quite make it work for them in the end. Right idea from Ollie Clark, dinking it in towards Davis Keeler-Dunn. Meanwhile, Aidan Flint has to head that one all the way back to Christy Pym. Didn't want it there, did Pym, and it's another cheap corner given away from Mansfield Town. Yeah, cheap corner, right idea from Aidan Flint. He didn't want to concede a throw in and just thought he could help it back to Christy Pym, and he's got his angles all wrong, and this just puts Mansfield Town under pressure after a really good sort of 2-3 minute spell. Corner at the Quarry Lane end as the floodlights are glistening with the light rain we've still got here at the One Call Stadium. 10 to go before half-time. Match night from BBC Radio Nottingham. FA Cup first round. As Notts County already through after beating Crawley 3-2 earlier. And let's see if Mansfield Town can join them in the second round draw tomorrow. But they'll have a bit of a job because they're trailing by a 0-0. It's just going to be a corner to Wrexham. Quarry Lane end to be taken by James McLean, left-footed. Sticks his arm up in the air and fires that one left-footed into the penalty area. It's not quite dealt with. It drops towards the back post. Mansfield need to deal with it. It's headed away, hooked away by Aaron Lewis, but it might come all the way back again as Lewis goes down after hooking the ball away. Free kick to Mansfield Town, and Christy Pym and Aidan Flint high-five each other after getting through that spell. Yeah, good defending in the end. I mean, listen, it's a great delivery from McLean. He's got so much quality with that left foot. Rightly so as well. Irish international, again retiring soon, the former West Brom, Stoke, Sunderland man. It's his 30th appearance in the FA Cup as well, so he certainly knows all about this competition as it's played high by Christy Pym out towards the right hand side. It drops for Jordan Barry, just cushions that one back to Lewis Reid, who dinks one high looking for Aaron Lewis between two Wrexham players. Arthur Okonkwo just about deals with it, decided to take absolutely no chances and clear that ball away and out of play for a Mansfield Town throw. Wrexham, of course, beating Arsenal back in 1992, bit of a cup set in the early rounds of the 91-92 season. Again, that's gone down as one of the famous days for Wrexham as it's played clear by the Wrexham defender. This time Lewis Reid with a header on it, glances it, but it goes out of play off Reid for a Wrexham throw. The game's just gone a little bit stale in the last couple of minutes or so, Craig, and again Mansfield Town, where do they go from here? You just got to be patient. You know, at times when they're in possession of the football, they've actually been exciting to watch, and they've got balls into really good areas. You just can't allow Wrexham to get another goal, especially in the first half. Larry Lewis not letting Wrexham get hold of the ball. He goes to ground and gets Mansfield Town a free kick. That's halfway inside their own half, although it's played all the way back to Aidan Flint, who's going to try and launch one forward. So Mansfield Town got to try and come forward once again with Flint. Ball round the back looking for Rees-Oates, trying to put his man under pressure, and he's done well here. Rees-Oates, if he can get between man and ball, but he's been beaten to it in the end by Tom O'Connor, the equally pacey Tom O'Connor. It was a bit of a heck of a sprint actually between those two, but O'Connor won it that time, and Wrexham can clear up to halfway yet again. It's a bit of a nudge in the back from Paul Mullin into the back of Aidan Flint. That takes some doing. and it'll be a free kick to Mansfield Town to be taken by Lewis Brunt. Through it goes to Lewis Reid. Need to see more of him. It's played forward by Ollie Clark to Davis Keeler-Dunn. Looks to turn one way and he just runs straight into Ben Tozer, and Tozer just literally stuck out a leg and said, no, I'll have that ball, thank you very much. Meanwhile, here's Elliot Lee. Out he goes to Sam Dolby. One more needed for Paul Mullin, but Lewis Brunt gets there first and clears his lines downfield up towards Rhys Oates. It clips away from Oates, and in the end it's Tom O'Connor again with some really good defending. Stop the Mansfield Town front three at the moment. That back three seems to be stopping Mansfield Town with ease, but Mansfield come again with Rhys Oates looking for a yellow shirt in front of him. It seems to be nobody in front of him other than Ollie Clark. Needs one more for Jordan Barry. Into the channel, still with Jordan Barry. Looks to go on his left foot, still with Barry. Just didn't quite shoot quickly enough as he fires it into the penalty area, and it's blocked and goes out of play for a corner kick. Maybe Barry might have been better shooting quicker on his favoured right foot, but decided to take a couple of touches. Gets Mansfield Town a corner, so did well in the end.
Yeah, I thought he could have been a bit more positive with his play there. His first touch, all he had to do is push it out his feet. I think he's quick enough, push out his feet with one touch and smash it with his right, and he's just slowed it down, allowed Wrexham to sort of get the bodies behind the ball, and fortunately we've come away with a corner.
Corner kick, Davis Keeler-Dunn sends it in towards the near post. It's headed away to the edge of the 18-yard box, and now off go Wrexham with Paul Mullin under pressure though from Bailey Cargill, who just fires that one into the right hand side, where Lewis Reid can happily grab the ball and just move it forward once again as we approach the 39th minute of this game. Match night from BBC Radio Nottingham, as I think there's a player down in the form of Ollie Clark. In fact, it is Ollie Clark who has gone down, and this doesn't look good. Not often that Ollie Clark goes down off the ball, that is for sure, and he could be I'd imagine Nigel Clough won't want to take any chances with a big run of league fixtures coming up. Just as Ollie Clark was getting back to full fitness, this could be a bit of a blow, but he is back onto his feet, which is encouraging to see. But however, Nigel Clough isn't taking any chances, and George Maris will be coming on. So a creative force coming on for Mansfield Town as Ollie Clark goes off and George Maris comes on, but I'd imagine that's the substitute Nigel Clough didn't want to make.
No, he doesn't. I mean, one thing Ollie Clark does, he gives you so much energy and desire to get the ball back, and he spoke in before the game on the interview where his qualities he brings is about ball winning and energy and endeavour, and you miss that within a side like Mansfield when you've got legs who can run around and try and get the ball back for you.
Well, George Maris is on. I actually saw George Maris by the tunnel just when we arrived here at the One Call Stadium. Some of the Stags players doing their pre-match sort of pitch inspection, and as soon as George Maris saw how muddy it was, he had a beaming smile on his face. So hopefully he's certainly up for tonight as it's played back to Jordan Barry. Here's Davis Keeler-Dunn, who's got George Maris just behind him. First touch for him as he sends it out to the right hand side for Callum Johnson. Another couple of touches for George Maris early doors. It's coming on as a substitute. Here is Aidan Flint on halfway, looking for a yellow shirt, just dinks it out in front of him and plays it forward to Jordan Barry, helps it on to Aaron Lewis, who turns past one, looks for Lewis Reid, who has to just nip past the referees. He sends it out to the left hand side for Bailey Cargill, back in field to Aaron Lewis, trying to stretch Wrexham here at Mansfield Town. Nice little 1-2 with George Maris once again as it's sent all the way across, although it's not the best ball. Gives it straight to Paul Mullin, and now off go Wrexham with Mullin on halfway, but Aaron Lewis clatters into his man and runs into George Maris, and now the ball breaks for Elliot Lee, still with Elliot Lee on the edge of the box looking to strike it low. It's a really good save from Pym, side footed, a really good save again from Pym. How has he managed to keep that out? Two good saves from the Mansfield Town shot stopper, one from Elliot Lee, one from Sam Dolby. Mansfield Town still in this cup tie in this first half, but a really good save, double save in fact, from Christy Pym to keep it at 1-0.
Yeah, well done Christy Pym. Comes from Louis Reid. You want Louis Reid on the ball, and it just comes from trying to switch the play into Aidan Flint, misses it, and you know what, he shows great recovery to get back, but in the while he's trying to get back and slides to the ground, he ends up cleaning out Keeler-Dunn, and then the ball just breaks to Wrexham, who have the quality to try and get strikes at goal, and two double saves from Christy Pym. Well done. Fantastic
goalkeeping, it has to be said, keeping Mansfield Town only 1-0 down here, but the corner coming in from the left hand side, flicked away at that far post. It's headed down, it might fall for a Wrexham player, but Keeler-Dunn has to turn, and now he's managed to break away down this left hand side, although he runs into a bit of a red cul-de-sac, and it's going to come all the way back again via Anthony Ford. This time Ford goes past one and past another, and this time it's nearly won back by Jordan Barry, who put his man under pressure there in Ben Tozer. And thankfully for Wrexham, they came away with the ball as it's played forward, but it's behind Mullin. This time Lewis Brunt has to go back to Christy Pym, fresh from that double save as he dinks that one downfield. And this time it's not the best ball from Pym, but you could probably forgive him after that amazing double save to deny Elliot Lee and Sam Dolby. 1-0 to Wrexham. 42 and a half gone, 2.5 to go before half time as it's with Dolby back again in towards Mullin in the penalty area. Shot comes in and it's another save from Christy Pym. He is being peppered with shots at the moment, but he's being equal to almost all of them apart from Sam Dolby's goal. But Christy Pym is having a very, very busy night.
When you talk about understanding of centre forwards, Mullin and Dolby have got that link up play to a T. Ball played into Dolby, I think it was. Mullin just let it run under his body. Dolby just pops it around the corner. Great strike, good save from Christy Pym.
2 to go before half time. Another corner for Wrexham, drilled in left footed at the back post. It's not quite dealt with as Mansfield Town just about clear it, although not very far from Lewis Reed. Sort of snatched at it as it's going to come back to Andy Cannon. Ball towards the back post, headed away by George Maris. This time it will be struck goalwards. It takes a little nick off Aidan Flint and out of play for Wrexham's 6th corner of the game. It was James Jones who caught it, and in the end it came off the top of Aidan Flint, maybe off his headband in fact, and goes out of play for another corner kick to Wrexham, although Wrexham aren't happy about something. I'm not entirely sure what.
Yeah, they're having a complaint saying someone's elbowed someone. We don't know where it's come about, whether it's in the box or it's hit his arm and not his head.
And as it is, the referee Ed Duckworth is happy with how things are at the moment. Corner kick it will be to Wrexham. Mansfield Town need to see out this first half as the corner comes in, left footed via McLean towards the back post, headed down. It's still not dealt with as Mansfield Town get a free kick. 1 or 2 bits of argy-bargy in the penalty area, and it will be a free kick to Mansfield Town. A minute to go before half time as Christy Pym pops the ball down in front of him and gets Mansfield hopefully going again, but he's had a very solid last couple of minutes as Christy Pym, and he's had to be good to deny Wrexham 3 times in the last 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, and that's what Wrexham have. They have really good quality all around the pitch, and you know, the same as Mansfield. Mansfield have had opportunities to get back into this game. They've not really allowed Wrexham to dominate the game from start to finish, and you know, I think there's goals in this from both sides.
Certainly is, as Lewis Brunt has it, plays it through to Lewis Reed, who's got Callum Johnson down the right hand side as he plays it down the line to Callum Johnson in space. He's got Aaron Lewis in support as well, but Callum Johnson goes back in field. Here's Lewis Reed, back to Callum Johnson down the right hand side, back to Aaron Lewis, who takes the touch, goes past one and goes to ground, and the ball goes out of play. But I'm pretty sure that came off the Wrexham man last, and linesman on the far side gives Mansfield Town the throw. Just having a quick glance down to see what the 4th official is going to put up on the board. He's not actually put anything up on the board that I can see so far. He's played nearly 13 seconds of the 45 as the ball is played into the right hand channel. Jordan Barry chasing, and that one will go for a goal kick, and we're going to see 2 minutes of stoppage time. A very unique 2 minutes as well by the looks of it on the scoreboard. It had a big fat 0 and then a 2. A 2 would have been fine, but you know, 2 minutes of stoppage time then. Mansfield Town 0, Wrexham 1. Match night from BBC Radio Nottingham. Mansfield Town trailing for the second time in a week here at the One Call Stadium. They trailed against Port Vale in the League Cup, and they currently trail Wrexham in the first round of the FA Cup. Nigel Clough certainly doesn't want to go out of 2 cup competitions within the space of a couple of days, as it's headed away by Aidan Flint. Hooked up in the air though as Mansfield Town win it back. Maris with a header on. This time it's cleared away towards Rees Oates. He tries to get the flick on. Keeler Dunn takes it in a stride and tries to get past Elliot Lee, but he in turn feeds it off to James McLean down the left hand side. Ball forward again towards Mullin. He's just being charged down there by Aidan Flint. It comes off Flint last and out of play for a Rex throw. Down the left hand side again with McLean. How do Mansfield respond in the second half then, Craig, if it does stay 1-0 to Wrexham going into the break?
I think they've just got to start the game in the second half like they did this one. I think they've played really, really well. At times they've got to be mindful of the threat that Wrexham do hold. You know, they've got some good quality all over the pitch and from back to front, and they've just got to make sure they go in this game at half time 1-0 down or hopefully get an opportunity near the end of the game, end of the first half.
Well, Elliot Lee just jinked his way between 3 or 4 Mansfield Town players, pushed the ball out in front of him, and it took a big slice from Lewis Brunt to clear the lines, and it goes out of play for a Wrexham throw. A couple of seconds left of the 2 minutes of stoppage time as it's down the left hand side, back down the corner flag it goes. It's fired in left footed towards that back post, header coming in, and it's glanced away by a Wrexham man. That should go out of play for a goal kick, and it will do. And you'd imagine once the ball leaves Christy Pym's boot, we will go in at the break. In fact, we won't even have time to do that because the referee has blown for half time as Wrexham lead by a goal to 0. Sam Dolby with his strike on 23 minutes. Good ball through to him, and in the end it was Sam Dolby who lashed it into the top corner past Christy Pym. who couldn't really do a lot about that one, but the saves Christy Pym has made has certainly kept Mansfield in this cup tie as we're going to the break. Craig Armstrong. Thank you, Colin. Yes, the two sets of players are just about ready to get us back underway. The second 45 of this FA Cup first round tie. Mansfield Town 0, Wrexham 1. Sam Dolby's goal so far enough for Wrexham, but Mansfield Town have had chances, and you'd imagine, Craig Armstrong, that Nigel Clough would have been pleased with some aspects of what he's seen in the first half, but we'll want to see more from the likes of Jordan Bowery and Lewis Reid to get them on the ball and really attack the visitors.
Yeah, I'd like to think the manager was sort of semi-pleased with the first half performance, especially the first 5-10 minutes when Mansfield really got at Wrexham, and then in the latter stages of the first half where they controlled large parts of the game before obviously Christy Pym had to make that double save. You know, Mansfield are definitely certainly in this game at the moment, and they've just got to be mindful when they are pressing, they are trying to get the equaliser to get back in this game, that they don't leave themselves open, because Wrexham do pose a threat.
Well, Wrexham will kick us off in this second half as the visitors will be kicking towards their own fans as we wait for the referee Ed Duckworth to make sure that everything is all in order. He's still waiting for the referee. He seems to just be taking his time actually with this one. Come on, ref. Blow your whistle.
Maybe waiting for TV.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that might be it. That'll be it. As the referee does blow his whistle. And we are back underway as the ball is sent all the way across the left-hand side by Wrexham. Goes out of play off Sam Dolby. Not a play that'll go for a Mansfield Town throw. So Mansfield with Christy Pym in goal. Back four of Johnson, Flint, Brunt and Cargill. Midfield diamond Aaron Lewis and George Maris, supported by Lewis Reid and Davis Keeler-Dunn in the 10. And up top, Rhys Oates and Jordan Bowery as Mansfield have the ball again, with Davis Keeler-Dunn just being held all the way back as he plays it all the way back to Lewis Brunt. He had to leave it for Christy Pym. He boots that one into the middle of the 18-yard, middle of the centre circle, has to quickly get back to his 18-yard. It's played round the back and dealt with easily by Tom O'Connor, part of a back three for Wrexham, as Wrexham look to go again with McLean down this left-hand side in the mud as he's trying to send an early ball into the penalty area. Thought about it, played it all the way back on halfway for Andy Cannon, who turns and finds James McLean again. Here's Elliot Lee. Lee this time goes back to Ben Tozer in the centre circle. Ben Tozer, George Evans and Tom O'Connor then the back three for Wrexham. Arthur Okonkwo in goal for them, with McLean and Anthony Ford as wing backs. Elliot Lee and James Jones in support of Paul Mullin and Sam Dolby, the goal scorers. The ball is just about jinked into the penalty area by Sam Dolby. Still got it as well as it's back with Paul Mullin. This time Mullin trying to work his way through the Mansfield Town back line, but unable to do so as it's back with James Jones. Across he goes to Anthony Ford. Cross coming in, but it's blocked, and it'll actually break for Jordan Bowery in the middle of the Mansfield Town midfield. Plays it all the way back to George Maris, and he didn't want it there, did Maris? That was Paul from Mansfield Town, and the ball hit against Jordan Bowery and out of play for a Wrexham throw. Nearly 2 minutes gone in the second half, and it's 1-0 to the visitors, but that'll be a moment to forget for Jordan Bowery.
Yeah, I think that wasn't the start that the manager would have wanted. Ball falls into Lewis Brunt where he is, and he sort of lets the ball bounce and it just skids past him. He got away with it. I think Mullinelli got away, and I think he had a bit of a tug, and then the next thing is Bowery's trying to lay a pass into, I think, Louis Reid, and he just overpasses it.
Well, Mansfield Town have got a lot of quality on the bench, the likes of McLaughlin and McDonald, Will Swan, James Gale, etc., plus a couple of young players in Finn Flanagan and Michael Abdullah. But now Mansfield go again down the left hand side with Jordan Bowery. He's got Rhys Oates busting a gut to get in front of him, but it's still with Jordan Bowery, looking to go to the right hand side for Callum Johnson. Here he is into the penalty area. Johnson pulls it back towards Lewis Reid to strike, and it's palmed away by Arthur Okonkwo, and out of play for a Mansfield Town corner, their first of the second half. Much better from Mansfield Town as Jordan Bowery helped it on down the right hand side for Johnson, jinked his way into the penalty area, pulled it back for Lewis Reid, struck it well with his right foot, and it was equally a good save from the Wrexham goalkeeper. 2.5 gone in the second half. Corner coming into the penalty area. It's dealt with by Wrexham. Only as far though as Callum Johnson. Back down the line it goes to Davis Keeler-Dunn. Here's Callum Johnson once again. Fires the ball into the penalty area. There is Aidan Flint. He got a bit of a shove in the back. Stayed on his feet though. He's got Lewis Brunt in support. Although Lazarus flag goes up against Aidan Flint. And it will be a free kick to Wrexham. But again, good play from Mansfield Town, and particularly Jordan Bowery getting that attack underway. Yeah,
much better from Mansfield there. Really controlled. Ball comes into midfield. You're thinking that Jordan's going to pull the trigger and have a shot, and he just slips out wide into Callum Johnson, who puts a really good ball in the box.
It will be a goal kick to Wrexham, to be taken by Arthur Okonkwo. First season back in the Football League, of course, so no need for them to get through the preliminary rounds. straight into the first round alongside Mansfield Town as Okonkwo boots the ball forward. This time it's a header away by Aidan Flint. Down the left hand side it goes for Jordan Barry, who charges down George Evans, hits it against Jordan Barry, and how to play that will go for a Wrexham throw. But a good encouraging start to the second half from Mansfield Town, and again you get the feeling that Arthur Okonkwo will be in for a busy evening, particularly as Mansfield Town are looking to respond. They've gone behind quite a few times this season of the Stags, but somehow up until Tuesday night have come away with something. Here's Davis Keeler-Dunn through in towards Riso. It's just forced in wide, but Riso fires it goalwards, and again it's a good save from Arthur Okonkwo. Tight angle, but Okonkwo made himself big, got in between the ball and the post and managed to keep that one out of play, and it just bobbled in front of him and he gathers hold of the ball. But again, Mansfield Town with two good chances in the space of 2 second half minutes. Yeah, great little touch from Bowery into Keeler-Dunn there. Keeler-Dunn's carried the ball, and Riso just pulls on the shoulder, a little bit similar to Dolby's goal in the first half, but the ball just ran away from him and he wouldn't settle, and then he ends up going a little bit too wide, and the save ends up being comfortable for the goalkeeper for Wrexham. Well, Mansfield can't afford to miss chances like that. Two in the space of a couple of minutes as Wrexham come through once again with Andy Cannon. Cannon having to go all the way back under pressure though from Lewis Reed. Has to go back to Ben Tozer wearing the captain's armband as Tozer plays it through again as Mansfield tried to win it back as Lewis Reed thought he'd read the play. This time Callum Johnson does just that. Here's Aaron Lewis forward to Davis Keeler-Dunn, nicks it away from Andy Cannon on halfway and looks to turn and release one or two Mansfield Town players. He fires it right hand side for Callum Johnson, looks for a run, instead has to go back to Davis Keeler-Dunn. It's a front four for Mansfield Town at the moment, make that a front five with Bailey Cargill down that left hand side. But here's Callum Johnson on the right up against his man as Johnson goes into the area, still on his left foot as he helps it back to George Maris. Ball into the box, that might go over the goalkeeper. Oh, it just whistles wide of the far post. Good ball into the back post from George Maris. That looked like it was going to fly in over Arthur Okonkwo and nestle into the back of the net, but unfortunately for Mansfield it just goes wide. If he meant it or not, who knows, but still Arthur Okonkwo was backpedaling. Yeah, I just think he just tried to feel it into the back post with a little bit of a deft touch, and you know, looking from here he could have mistaken it that it was actually executed to go and try and chip Arthur the keeper, and unfortunately it went for round the wrong side of the post. What a goal that would have been as well. It's Arthur Okonkwo with the goal kick, headed away by Aidan Flint as Jordan Bowery is pumping away to try and make sure he gets there first, but it's dealt with by Wrexham. Here's McLean as he runs into Davis Keeler-Dunn, so has it nicked off him. Does McLean, but gets a throw deep inside her own half. Wrexham just seem to be rocked by the energy of Mansfield Town at the moment early in this second half, and a couple of big chances from the Stags. It's played downfield up towards Sam Dolby, helps it on to Elliot Lee, who switches across to Anthony Ford, who's got quite a lot of space in front of him as Ford tries to trick his way past Bailey Cargill. Cargill pushes him over in the box. Oh, I'm not sure about that one. That was heart in mouth moment there as Anthony Ford got the better of Bailey Cargill as it's played in towards Aaron Lewis. He's got a couple of options in front of him. One of them is Jordan Barry, but his looping ball doesn't find Jordan Barry. This time it's cleared away by Wrexham. This time it's cushioned back, although it's not the best ball from Lewis Brunt, and Aidan Flint had to tidy up. Big shout though for a penalty for Wrexham, denied by the referee Ed Duckworth. Looked like it for definitely. Me. It did. It looked a little bit clumsy from Cargill. You know, he delayed the sort of his wide player, and here's Davis Keeler-Dunn, ball into the area, the near post as Barry, and it goes high and wide of Arthur Okonkwo's post. Good ball in from Callum Johnson, finding Davis Keeler-Dunn, fizzed it into the penalty area, and Bowery at that near post couldn't get it on target for his second goal of the season, and it stays 1-0 to Wrexham. But we've played 7.5 minutes of the second half, and Mansfield could have had 3 or 4. Yeah, definitely. Mansfield have sort of grown into this game. They've got to be mindful that they could end up being hit on the counter-attack. Again, we go back to Bailey Cargill's challenge in the box. It does look a little bit innocuous that either the Wrexham players got on the ground a bit too easy, or he actually did make contact, so I think Mansfield might have got away with one again. Just a bit as Aidan Flint heads the ball away. This time Elliot Lee just shoves into his man and wins the ball, but he's been penalised by the referee Ed Duckworth. Not the best couple of moments for Wrexham in terms of refereeing decisions, but Mansfield will take those all day long, and I think Bailey Cargill can count himself a very lucky man indeed, as it's back with Aidan Flint just outside his own 18-yard box. It's Match Night from BBC Radio Nottingham, part 2 of the Match Day trilogy. Notts County beat Crawley earlier by 3-2 in the first round of the FA Cup. Let's see if Mansfield can join him as Davis Keeler-Dunn helps it on to Lewis Reed. Needs a run in front of him. Oh, he plays it behind Bailey Cargill this time though. Mansfield do win it back. Good energy from George Maris to win it, and he plays it back to Lewis Brunt on halfway, back to Maris once again. Needs a run, needs a yellow shirt to pick out. This time it's all the way back to Aidan Flint. We're getting a slow motion replay. Oh dear, I think, yeah, that's for me, with it being slowed down, Mansfield Town are very lucky not to have considered a penalty there. It's ball forward by Aidan Flint, not the best ball though, but it ricocheted nicely for Callum Johnson. In field to Davis Keeler-Dunn, switches the play across to Bailey Cargill. Here's George Maris meanwhile, has it on the edge of the box to Riso. It's back again to Bailey Cargill, who's still stayed forward. Here is George Maris, looks to turn and fire it to the right hand side for Callum Johnson again, jinking his way into the penalty area, still with Callum Johnson. Ball cross towards that post, volley back in the edge of the box. Oh, it's missed by Keeler-Dunn, completely missed it. How on earth has that not gone in? Absolutely incredible. Johnson's ball towards the back post as Mansfield win it back. Johnson this time goes down, and the referee points for, well, he's not pointed anywhere at the moment, he's pointed for a free kick right on the edge of the box. I think a few Mansfield Town fans wanted a penalty, but Johnson's ball earlier into the penalty area, fired back by Riso. It's the one man you want in the 6-yard box when the ball is rolling across is Davis Keeler-Dunn, and he just completely missed it, and well, the end of Chaplain begging.
I think the conditions have won there. So as the ball is knocked back from Riso, it's like Billy Keeler-Dunn just waiting for the ball to bounce up onto his foot to cushion it, and he just hit the ground and just gone dead. I think the water's just absolutely got the pressure off the ball there.
It's so unfortunate, but Mansfield do have a free kick right on the edge of the 18-yard box. The right of centre, it's going to be a 5-man wall for Wrexham, and at the base of that will be Ben Tozer, and this is set up nicely for a low strike from Davis Keeler-Dunn. Perhaps it looks to us on the replay like the ball has just completely stopped dead as just as it reached Davis Keeler-Dunn's feet. So again, the conditions not helping Mansfield Town at all here tonight, as the rain's still coming down here. Light rain of course, but again the pitch is wet and it's affecting the movement of the ball, as we now know. So Mansfield have a free kick, 10 gone in the second half. Davis Keeler-Dunn to strike it, fires it into the wall, and it's through the wall and past Arthur Okonkwo's left hand post, and it hits the outside of the upright as well. Goal kick.
Great position for a free kick, and in these conditions you have to try and work the goalkeeper, or at least work around the goalkeeper, get the ball into the area to make it difficult for him.
We're just going to replay. The ball just seemed to bobble for Davis Keeler-Dunn, seemed to move very weirdly, and again it's just one of those unfortunate moments.
Just as it's been cushioned back, he's just bouncing and takes the first bounce. It actually takes the first bounce, it just dies on mud.
So unfortunate as the ball comes away, and it's going to be a Wrexham throw. But Mansfield Town, in the opening 11.5 minutes of the second half, they've gone full throttle, and yet again they've been denied by some good goalkeeping and some rather unfortunate weather conditions. But a ball played back loosely to Jordan Barry, and he needs runners, and he's got one in Davis Keeler-Dunn. Still got it as Keeler-Dunn turns on a sixpence and plays it through, trying to wiggle his way through, but Mansfield win it back with Jordan Barry. Helped on to Aaron Lewis, ball onto the edge of the box for Maris, curled towards Barry, who curls it goalwards, and it's high and wide and into the Quarry Lane end. And again, he sort of looks up in disgust because he knows he can do better from there. Yeah,
again, but great build-up play from Mansfield Town. So Wrexham now are the team making mistakes, sort of sloppy passes. You think when Mansfield are on top, they have a sort of a misplaced pass. The fans have a bit of a grumble, and then Mansfield seem to regain possession, and just unfortunately there it's fallen to the wrong person in obviously Jordan Barry, who hasn't played up front often this season.
That's true. We'll put it down to rustiness, I think, shall we?
Or just great defending.
Or great defending, yeah, that as well. Match night from BBC Radio Nottingham. Match day back with you tomorrow. Sunday, Nottingham Forest welcome Aston Villa to the City Ground. Full live commentary of that one. 2 o'clock kick-off with build-up from 1 o'clock as the ball cleared away. As the ball it just hits a defender, and it's played through in towards Paul Mullin to side-foot it. Oh dear, and it goes in past Christy Pym, and Paul Mullin, when he gets a chance from there, he only needs one invitation. Mansfield Town hit the ball against themselves, it ricocheted back to Paul Mullin, and Mullin side foots it home past Christy Pym to double Wrexham's lead completely against the run of play in the second half. But Mansfield Town now have got a huge mountain to climb. 58 minutes gone, it's Mansfield Town 0, Wrexham 2.
I just don't think you can make it up. Mansfield have come out this second half and dominated, created opportunities, had really good opportunities to get back in this game, and I just feel as the ball pops up there, Aidan Flint tries to head the ball, it pops up again in the air, and I thought Lewis was fouled, he was sort of leaned into, the referee didn't give it. As the clearance comes in from Lewis Brunt, I think it's Lewis Brunt, clears it, hits someone's back, hits someone's legs, and falls into the person who don't want it to fall to, into Mullin, who just tucks it away in the bottom corner.
It's just one of those nights, isn't it, where when it's going for Wrexham at the moment, they certainly punish it, and that's exactly what happened. As we're just getting a look at the replay here, yeah, it falls nicely for Mullin, right foot, bottom corner. 2-0 Wrexham as he slides into the mud in front of his own fans, as a couple of Wrexham fans have got the torches on the phones. But Mansfield Town now have got half an hour and they need to find 2 goals to stay in this FA Cup tie. But at the moment, in the opening 14 minutes of this second half, Mansfield Town could have had 3 or 4 as the ball played through to Rhys Oates, gets past one and past another, still with Rhys Oates, strikes it. Oh, what a goal that is! What a response that is for Mansfield Town. Rhys Oates got the look of the bounce, helped it onto the left hand side and fired it left footed past the outstretched arm of Arthur Okonkwo and nearly took the net off. Absolutely incredible goal from Rhys Oates, and just as they go 2-0 down, they respond and get back in this game. It's Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 2 with an hour played.
What a response that is from Mansfield Town. Ball into the ball just played innocuously forward. Jordan Barry rins a little glancing flick on the first time that Rhys Oates can get on the end of it, and God knows what happens, he just ends up barging through the whole of Wrexham's defence, falls on his left foot, and what a great finish in the keeper's top right hand corner.
And imagine he took out the frustrations of conceding a second goal on the ball, and it found its way past Arthur Okonkwo, and just the way he caught it with his left foot, and this time he's going to try and go again as he bursts down this left hand side, and Rhys Oates is going to try and go down the left as he sends it into the area. There's Jordan Barry. Oh, it goes over the top and into the Quarry Lane end to end football here in this FA Cup first round, this enthralling tie between 2 great teams, and we're being treated to a great game here. And Mansfield Town could have been level less than a minute and a half after going 2-0 down.
Yeah, Rhys Oates there nearly provided for his strike partner in Jordan Bowery. Ball played down the line, Rhys Oates rolls his full back, just drives down the byline, crosses the ball across the 6-yard box, and Jordan Barry comes in, should tuck it away, should finish that with a right foot finish.
I'm running out of lines on my notepad for all the chances Mansfield Town have had. We just had a replay of Rhys Oates' goal and another one too, as it bounces for Rhys Oates out of the box, and wow, did he catch that well. I mean, even in slow motion as the ball played around the back, linesman's flag goes up immediately to deny Paul Mullin, who dinks it over Christy Pym. Great finish, but denied by the linesman's flag over on the far side. Thank you very much, Declan Ford, for that. As we're getting another replay now on the TV monitor as it's sent into the penalty area, and Barry, I mean, looking at that, Craig, should he have done better there?
Yeah, I think he's got to hit the target. It's just it's a great ball in from Rhys Oates, who at the moment is taking the game to them.
Oh, here's Rhys Oates once again into the channel right hand side, tries to pull it back across, and he hits the advertising hoardings and goes out of play for a goal kick. But a bit of a conundrum here for Nigel Clough, because we know Rhys Oates has been out with a hamstring problem in recent weeks, and what you don't want to do is for him to burn out and re-aggravate that injury, because this is only the first start he's had since he didn't even start against Sheffield Wednesday. He came off the bench, and again, you want to keep him on the pitch to try and get something from this game, but equally,
yeah, you're right, you don't want to lose players during the game. But one thing I know with obviously medical departments now, you don't put people back into football matches if they're not fully fit. So if Rhys Oates is going to pick up any injury, it's not just from his old injury that he's had in the past.
Well, Mansfield Town have got the wind in their sails as it's played through to Barry. Nice turn as he helps it on. He's trying to find Bailey Cargill, but it's cleared away by Wrexham. Reid tops it short for George Maris, into the box for Davis Keeler-Dunn, back towards Maris, who side foots it, didn't catch it as well as he would have liked. Arthur Okonkwo saw that one coming from a long way off, and he can just keep hold of that one and try and take the sting out of the game, because at the moment Mansfield Town have really, as I've said before, got the wind in their sails. 6-2 gone, Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 2. Mansfield Town conceding a goal just a couple of minutes ago via Paul Mullin. Bit of a defensive mix-up, punished by Mullin, but no sooner had they gone 2-0 down, Mansfield were back in it. This time a free kick is going to be given for the foul on Lewis Brunt, and this time Christy Pym will look to take it quickly. But how important was it, Craig, that Mansfield got straight back in it despite going 2-0 down?
Yeah, well, and it happened so quickly as that. I think probably just straight from kick-off, isn't it? It's a great response, and Mansfield, like we said, they didn't deserve to go 2-0 down. It was a ricochet, it was calamity goal really on how it happened. You know, I think Lewis Brunt kicked it against his own play, falls into Dalby, who slips in Mullins, and it's a great finish, and then just to respond as quickly as what they have. Jordan Barry at the moment and Rhys Oates are causing all sorts of problems.
Certainly are. Will Swan and Steve McLaughlin are getting ready to be brought on the pitch as Bailey Cargill fires it into the penalty area and it bobbles through. Davis Keeler-Dunn was there, he gives a thumbs up to Bailey Cargill, but Mansfield Town again trying to get the pressure on Wrexham and try and push the equaliser. Ball around the back though, looking for Sam Dalby, who's got the better here of Bailey Cargill and Lewis Brunt. Here is Sam Dolby, edge of the box as he helps it on. It's going to be struck by Cannon. Oh, it's just whistles wide again of Christy Pym's post. Really good low strike from Andy Cannon. That could have been 3-1, maybe should have been, but thankfully for Mansfield Town, they were helped out by Andy Cannon's lack of accuracy. As we're going to see a double change made by Nigel Clough. Steve McLaughlin coming on for Bailey Cargill. Callum Johnson also coming off. And so a change at fullback. Barry's going to go back to right back. McLaughlin's going to come on for Bailey Cargill, and it's going to be a front duo of Rhys Oates and Will Swan. That looks menacing.
Yeah, it does. And when you're taking players off, we spoke about this like all last season, this season. When you can bring on the people like Steve McLaughlin onto the football pitch, who's got quality in that left foot, it shows what a great squad Mansfield Town have got this season.
Certainly does. Will Swan yet to score in the FA Cup. He went close against Sheffield Wednesday as the ball played down the line by Jordan Barry. Nutmegs his man, but it spins away for a Mansfield Town throw to be taken by Bowery. He's got a couple of options with him. He throws it short down the line. It lands in a big splodge and a big puddle, and the ball ricochets off Aaron Lewis, and out of play that'll go for a Wrexham throw. That's unfortunate. Yeah,
and this is what you've got to be mindful of. Back passes tonight, with a bit of surface water on the pitch, you just don't know if it's going to hold up, so you've got to follow everything in.
So Rhys Oates and Will Swan as a front duo. That's League One standard, that's for sure, as the ball drops for Will Swan. This time though, it helps it on to Jordan Barry, tries to get past his man. The ball sticks in the mud once again, and this time Mansfield try and win it back, but unfairly according to Jordan Barry. There's a couple of moments there where the ball just gets stuck in the muddy, sludgy bit of the pitch. Meanwhile, we're going to see a change for Wrexham. Jacob Mendy is going to be coming on. It's a straight swap at right wing back, and Anthony Ford will be coming off, and Jacob Mendy will be coming on. A bit of a mainstay in the Wrexham lineup so far this season, but he was rested tonight, and now for the final 25 minutes or so he's going to try and keep Mansfield Town out of the FA Cup. But Mansfield Town again have responded well despite going behind, despite going 2-0 down. They've got one back immediately via Rhys Oates, and we are set for a very interesting final 25 minutes. Free kick taken quickly, headed away by Lewis Brunt. This time it's helped on by Reid to Jordan Barry. Ball through to Aaron Lewis, who turns past his man and looks to fire it down the right hand side, looking for Will Swan. Headed away though, it might drop this time for Elliot Lee. This time Aaron Lewis takes the touch and goes all the way back to Lewis Brunt. Good play from Aaron Lewis, finding Lewis Brunt. Back it goes via McLaughlin to Brunt once again. Great to see Steve McLaughlin back on the field of players. It's across to Jordan Barry, in field to Lewis Reid. Ball round the back into the channel, looking for Will Swan, fresh off the bench as well, but it's dealt with just about by Wrexham. Slice clear, not the best ball though, as it's going to be. Oh dear, Lewis Reid with a bit of a reckless challenge there, and Andy Cannon, as the ball was played through, it's played low along the floor, and Reid went sliding in to try and win the ball back, and Lewis Reid could be in trouble here. The referee calls for the Wrexham physio to come on. It was a proper FA Cup first round in the mud challenge.
I thought, looking from where the ball was directed to, whether he's caught him just a little bit with the follow through, but I thought it was a really good challenge in the end.
Well, hopefully Lewis Reid won't get any further punishment, but you'd imagine that the referee, Ed Duckworth, even though he's speaking to Lewis Reid as we speak, he's got a yellow in his hand, and I'd imagine it'll just be a yellow card for the Mansfield Town midfielder. And they're the kind of tackles that wouldn't be too out of place in the 70s and 1980s, to be honest, as we're getting a look of it here on the replay in a minute or so. It was a slice clearance from Wrexham, not helped by the mud, and it came through as Lewis Reid came in out of nowhere, slid in. Ooh, yeah, that's a nasty one, and he stuck his hand up and apologised, but one of those where you certainly know that you felt one of those, that is for sure, as Andy Cannon is still down on the deck.
You've got to give the referee some credit there. Obviously Louis Reid's travelled from a long way to make the tackle, and we've seen in past where referees are very, very quick to get the card out and send them down the tunnel, and I thought he used his common sense there, and if it is a yellow card was warranted, and no further action.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's not properly been booked yet, has Lewis Reid, but as look across at the screen, I think he has been spoken to and has been booked. And so Lewis Reid goes into the referee's notebook for that challenge. and it takes the sting out of the game a little bit, and it's been quite a game so far. A match night from BBC Radio Nottingham. FA Cup first round tie. Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham at 2. Also hear this game on 5 Live Sports Extra and online on the BBC Sport website. Had quite a day so far in the FA Cup. Quite a few shocks, quite a few cup sets, but probably none more so. Yeah, that is a pretty bad challenge from Lewis Reed. But again, I imagine a yellow card is probably about right. It's one of those where the more you see it, the worse it gets.
I got that
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. When it's watched in slow motion.
In my world, that's a great tackle.
I'm sure you put a few in like that, didn't you, Craig?
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah. A few crazy scorelines from elsewhere in the FA Cup, none more so than Aldershot beating Swindon 7-4 at the county ground. Quite a game as Aldershot went 7-0 up after 58 minutes, and then 4 goals in 15 minutes for Swindon. I don't want to say spared the blushes, but kind of. Well, it didn't really. It's a horrible day for Swindon, really, in the FA Cup as they get knocked out by Aldershot. Meanwhile, Andy Cannon is being helped off the field of play. That was after the challenge from Lewis Reed. But Mansfield Town, they've got the wind in their sails. They've got the goal back. Where do they go from here, Craig? Is it just a case of getting Research and Will Swan on the ball as much as possible? Yeah,
it is. It's not just that. It's getting Louis Reed on and Maris on it and Keeler Dunn on the ball and make sure we're solid at the back and that we don't sort of... Yes, we want to throw bodies forward to try to get this equaliser, but you've got to be mindful that Wrexham have some top quality players in this side with McLean, Dolby and Mullen up front, pace around it and some experience at the back. So you just got to be not gang-ho around it, but you've got to be mindful that, you know, yes, there's plenty of time. You've still got 20 minutes plus stoppage to get back into this, so don't need to go gang-ho and throw everything at it.
Well, Andy Cannon can't continue. Not surprised really after that challenge from Lewis Reed, but Luke Young is coming on for the visitors. 5th season at Wrexham, the former Torquay and Portsmouth man, as it's played high by Tom O'Connor towards the far side, looking for Jacob Mendy. He can't keep it in play as a stray firework goes off in the Mansfield Town sky. It's bonfire night tomorrow night, of course. In fact, Mansfield Town are holding their own bonfire night here, so if you're coming to that, hope you have a great time tomorrow evening. As the ball comes off a Wrexham man and Steve McLaughlin get ready to take this throw. But good to see McLaughlin, I mentioned it before, good to see him back on the pitch and hopefully getting some more minutes under his belt. His first long stint on the field of play since the game at Newport back at the end of April, where he went off as Will Swan tries to charge down his man as it's played through into the midfield for Elliot Lee, takes a touch and sends it out to the left hand side for James McLean, back in field to Lee again, who turns and tries to control proceedings, switches it out to Jacob Mendy. Great ball, great touch as well by Mendy up against Steve McLaughlin as Mendy and McLaughlin go toe to toe as it's still with Mendy, ball into the penalty area and it's just about dealt with by Lewis Reed as George Maris tries to step in and send that one away, unable to do so as Young plays it through. Nice ball, nice reverse ball as well to Jacob Mendy up against McLaughlin. The two substitutes trying to battle away against each other. Mendy's ball into the area. Aidan Flint had to get that absolutely spot on as it lands on the top of the goal and goes out of play for a Wrexham corner kick. Teasing ball from the right hand side from Mendy, and Aidan Flint just had to get his angles absolutely spot on. Loops it high over Christy Pym's goal and out of play for another Wrexham corner.
Yeah, good defending in the end. Yeah, Mendy looks a bit of a tricky character. Really good balance out on that on the sort of wide right. Wants to come in on his left foot, and I think he's happy to go down both sides. So I think Steve McLaughlin's going to have a tough encounter for the last 15-20 minutes.
A corner kick then over on the far side. James McLean standing over it. It's going to be another left-footed in-swinger. You would imagine plenty of bodies on the edge of the penalty area, but it will be in-swung by James McLean, headed away. And this time Will Swan will try and put his man under pressure as Swan up against Mendy, but Mendy pushes the ball out and drills it out towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Glanced away by McLaughlin. It might fall for George Maris. He helps it on to McLaughlin. Needs to just go down the line and he boots it with a bit of swing on it as well up towards halfway towards Will Swan, but Mansfield will try and bring it again with Flint. Across he goes to Jordan Barry, and now off go Mansfield again as Rhys Oates looks to gallop down the right hand side. He's got a few bodies in the penalty area, still with Rhys Oates battling one way then the other. Oates pulls it back across but is denied by a last stitch touch from a Wrexham defender, but Mansfield Town will go again. Here's Reed down the line to Jordan Barry. Barry infield to Davis Keeler-Dunn, looks to go to the left hand side this time as he switches it across to Steve McLaughlin. He's got George Maris in support. Back to Maris again on halfway, has to go back to Aidan Flint on the halfway line. Here's Maris again trying to control the play as the ball slides under Jordan Barry's stud, and this time the Rush clearance from the defender, helped out by Jordan Barry, of course, as it's back with Davis Keeler-Dunn. Maris wants it in the gap, but Davis Keeler-Dunn through to Aaron Lewis, takes a touch and looks for Jordan Barry. Instead he's going to fire that ball into the area. Good ball, but it's right in front of Arthur Okwanko, who could just shimmy off his line and gather that one before Will Swan could get there.
I think that's a really good ball, and I think Rhys Oates knows it's a good ball. He stood on the penalty spot, and as the ball's played in, he stood there with his hands on his knees, thinking, I've got to get across the goalkeeper there. If he makes the run, he's got to tap in.
Could have his second of the night as Aidan Flint heads the ball away, and out of play that'll go for a Wrexham throw. You can just see Andy Cannon being helped off, actually. He's sort of got that old school physio coach combo helping him off the pitch. There's no stretcher, he's literally just got both arms wrapped around a coach in each arm, and he's being helped off almost like almost in like a chair style, but hopefully he'll be okay, not out for too long, as Aaron Lewis gets it between the legs of Elliot Lee, but Elliot Lee wins it back, goes past one and helps it on to the on-rushing James Jones and Jacob Mendy, but they're getting each other's way there as Mendy has it on halfway, has to go all the way back meanwhile to Ben Tozer. Gets it though from George Evans, back across he goes, and it's just McLaughlin who was trying to get there first ahead of his man. Good ball though towards Mendy, but well dealt with by Lewis Brunt. Down the line he goes once again. Here is George Maris in field to Reid, and here's Brunt once again, just takes a touch, so confident for a centre half as it's played high once again for either a Rhys Oates or a Will Swan, and that one will roll all the way through to Arthur Okwanko in the Wrexham net. Bowls it out short very quickly to Tom O'Connor, bringing the ball out from the back as here goes McLean once again. High ball looking for either a Mullin or a Dolby, but this time it's Lewis Brunt who deals with it, only just at the expense of a throw. 15 to go, match night from BBC Radio Nottingham. Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 2 in this FA Cup first round tie. Notts County already through to beating Crawley earlier in the first round. They won 3-2 at Meadow Lane, and Mansfield Town are 15 minutes away from exiting at the first hurdle of this FA Cup, as it's across by Luke Young. Forward it goes again to James Jones, finding Jacob Mendy down the right hand side. It's Wrexham's turn now to have a good spell in the game, and at the moment Mansfield Town just watching them pass it about amongst themselves, but Mansfield are keeping their shape and trying to put the pressure on where they can as the ball is played back towards Arthur Okwanko, and this time it's cleared away by the Arsenal loanee up into the Mansfield Town sky as Aidan Flint heads it away up to halfway. Will Swan trying to battle away and win it. It skims off a Wrexham man, and as far as Jordan Barry looks for a man in a yellow shirt, has to go back though towards Aidan Flint, down the line to Davis Keeler-Dunn, who turns and needs to get past his man. He wasn't able to do so, runs straight into Tom O'Connor. Now Wrexham can try and go again down the left hand side with McLean. Good ball forward, but headed away by Aidan Flint into the middle of the midfield, picked up by Luke Young, who can stride and stretch forward towards the Mansfield Town penalty area, but his ball through to Dolby isn't a good one. It'll go through to Christy Pym, and at the moment Mansfield Town just under a little bit of pressure as Wrexham, every time they pick up the ball they do look a little bit dangerous, but again Mansfield Town, every time they get a Davis Keeler-Dunn on the ball, just got so much energy and he's twisting and turning and trying to cause Wrexham problems.
Yeah, I think Mansfield have actually controlled this second half a lot. What they're doing really well is that they're just pressing really well.
As the ball came in from Oates, we'll get more from that from Craig in a minute, as it's struck by Reid and he caught it, got well underneath it and he hammered it into the Quarry Lane end. Not the best moment there from Reid.
Yeah, just going back to it, Mansfield are pressing really well. They're forcing Wrexham to make mistakes, forcing Wrexham back. You know, Mansfield were on top before the tackle from Louis Reid in the centre of the park, and I think the 5 minutes while treatment was being had and the yellow card was being branded, sort of, I thought, went in Wrexham's favour a little bit, and Wrexham sort of tried to dominate possession and try to take the game to Mansfield. But I think Mansfield have just got themselves back on top, and they're the ones that, or we're the side that are looking to obviously get the next goal.
Long kick from Okwanko, headed away by Lewis Brunt up to halfway as Will Swan tries to get there first, but McLean with a lovely back heel up to halfway. It's dinked across to McLean as he again goes past his man. Lovely touch from him to bring in Elliot Lee down the left hand side. He's got a couple of red shirts in front of him, but the ball played across looking for Mendy, and it's beaten McLaughlin as well as Mendy goes into the penalty area, pushes it out as he pokes it into the side netting, and it goes out of play for a goal kick anyway. I think he'd just gone a bit too far past McLaughlin, just trying to push it into the penalty area. McLaughlin was beaten, all ends up there, but thankfully Mendy ran out of grass. Yeah, you can put that down to a little bit of rustiness from Steve McLaughlin. Just didn't get the timing of his header right, and then nearly sort of gave a free kick away. You know, he was scrambling to try and get back at Mendy. The ball headed away up towards McLaughlin on halfway, who turns and wants to go one way, but instead goes down the right hand side, dinks ball into the channel looking for Will Swan. Just in front of him though as Will Swan tries to get it past his man. It's well dealt with in the end by Ben Tozer, and it's really experienced defending from Tozer that gets him out of trouble and gets Wrexham out of trouble as well as Mansfield win the ball back. Here's McLaughlin, and the referee blows his whistle. It's a free kick the other way for Mansfield Town. Thought maybe the referee was going to give Wrexham a free kick there then. That was, that wouldn't have gone down well. 12 to go. Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 2. Slight
bit of indecision between the goalkeeper and Ben Tozer as the ball gets played over the top from Steve McLaughlin into
Will Swan.
Will Swan, yeah. And listen, Mansfield again are the team that are putting a lot of pressure on.
They really are, as McLaughlin fires that free kick into the penalty area. It's headed away, and as far as Elliot Lee though, who can clear and dink that one downfield. One for Lewis Brunt to control, although he's lost it to Paul Mullin, who read him like a book there, did Mullin. A nice little back heel towards McLean, ball back into the penalty area. There is Mullin, who takes a touch, but he couldn't quite get it under his spell and fire it past Christy Pym. And Lewis Brunt again just had his pocket picked by Paul Mullin, who used his experience just to make sure he knew exactly where Lewis Brunt was going to be going there. Back heel as well, good return ball by James McLean.
Yeah, I thought Lewis Brunt, you're right, he showed a bit of inexperience there. I actually thought initially that it was the right idea, let the ball run past, and just the experience of Mullin just picked his pocket, and unfortunately Mansfield got away with that one.
Well, there's Aidan Flint, has it just outside his own 18-yard box, might go long, and he does. Down the channel he goes looking for Resoats, but it's dealt with by Wrexham, cleared away up towards halfway. It's not the best touch though from Elliot Lee, gives it to Jordan Barry, who in turn finds Lewis Reid as Mansfield look to play through the gaps here as it's back with Lewis Reid via Davis Keeler-Dunn. Here's Steve McLaughlin out wide to George Maris on the left hand side, up against George Evans, a battle of the Georges. It's still with George Maris, back to McLaughlin again on the left hand side on the edge of the box, fires it into Davis Keeler-Dunn, who turns and helps it on to Jordan Barry in space, helps it on again to Aaron Lewis on this left hand side, looking to curl one goal as it's headed away before it could find the top corner. Here's Jordan Barry on his right foot, it's blocked. A flailing Elliot Lee had to get in the way of that one, and Wrexham can try and go again as it's scooped high over the halfway line, and Mullin could be onside here if he can keep it in play, which he does. Licence flag stays down. Mansfield Town need to get back quickly as Mullin steers it goal, as it's a really good save from Christy Pym, although it was straight at him. Had to make sure he got over him behind that, did Christy Pym, and he keeps it at 2-1. 10 to go, or 9 to go. Match night from BBC Radio Nottingham. Another enthralling cup tie between Mansfield Town and Wrexham. Ball played around the back, trying to get Will Swan in if he can, but it goes out of play for a goal kick. This seems to be the right balls at the moment from Mansfield Town, trying to get Will Swan involved.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you were a neutral watching this on TV, this is end-to-end stuff. This is a fantastic game of football from both sides. Both sides trying to win the game. Wrexham obviously winning the game, but Mansfield trying to get back into it. And there's just chances at both ends at the moment.
Well, a couple of changes for Wrexham. One of them is former Stag Ollie Palmer coming on, and Jordan Davies also coming on for Wrexham. Meanwhile, Callum MacDonald and James Gale will be entering the fray for the final 8.5-9 minutes or so. But I think Mansfield Town might be a little bit relieved to see Elliot Lee and Sam Dolby going off the field of play. Meanwhile, for Mansfield Town, they've not actually made those changes yet. I thought Gale and MacDonald were ready to come on, but as it is, Nigel Clough eventually gives the sheet to the official on this near side, and we're going to see a bit more from Rhys Oates as he's played 82 minutes of this game so far. As the ball is back with Lewis Brunt, fires that downfield, left-footed one for Rhys Oates to try and chase, although he looks a little bit out of energy at the moment, a little bit of lacking in match fitness. But again, he's got 82 on the clock, and he's got a goal to show for it. Ball round the back this time, looking for Paul Mullin. Christy Pym off his line quick, balls it short to Lewis Reid as Mansfield look to go once again with Reid over halfway. He plays it high towards Rhys Oates, although I say played it high, tried to play it into feet, and this time Oates wasn't able to gather hold of it, but he puts the pressure on, and it's back with Jordan Davies, and this time it's all the way back to Arthur Okonkwo in the Wrexham goal. Under pressure though from Will Swan, his clearance goes all the way downfield onto the chest of Aidan Flint, and Jordan Barry cushions that one nicely for Lewis Brunt. Steve McLaughlin's off down the left hand side if he can be picked out, but in the end he's looking to the right hand side. Here's Lewis Brunt, back to Aidan Flint, and across he goes to Jordan Barry once again as it's back with Barry, trying the 1-2 with he stopped his run, did Jordan Barry. Aaron Lewis gave him the perfect return ball, and Barry decided to play the 1-2 and not go for the 2. It was just back around the back again for Paul Mullin up against Aidan Flint, as Aidan Flint sticks the ball out and hits it against Paul Mullin, and out of play for a Mansfield Town throw. And we are going to see James Gale and Callum MacDonald, and so off goes Rhys Oates after another excellent performance. We're also going to see Aaron Lewis coming off for Callum MacDonald. This is an interesting one actually, because we've got 2 left backs on the pitch, so I wonder where Callum MacDonald will go. I'd imagine Mansfield might go to a back 3, and McLaughlin, I beg your pardon, will move further forward into the middle of the pitch. Who knows, Craig Armstrong? It's the FA Cup.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out now. I think he has. He's just moved Steve McLaughlin into centre midfield.
The ball is back with Tom O'Connor, headed away by Aidan Flint up towards McLaughlin into the midfield. It goes, cleared away. This time Brunt getting there first ahead of Callum MacDonald, hits it against the defender, and this time it's well won by James Jones. Nice touch as well infield by Luke Young. Across he goes this time to McLean, just in front of him though, as it's out of play for a Mansfield Town throw. 6 to go, with plenty of stoppage time, I'd imagine, as well, after that challenge on Andy Cannon.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. It gives Mansfield a little bit more opportunity to get back into this game.
But we shall see as the ball played forward, looking for Will Swan, dealt with though by Ben Tozer, who slices his clearance downfield. Barry with a nice touch as it hit against him, and Mullin body hit it against Jordan Barry, and that'll play, that'll go off Mullin for a Mansfield Town throw. Mansfield Town needs some options though, as Barry sends it into the middle of the pitch up towards James Gale, who turns and tries to play past a Wrexham defender, and in the end he wasn't able to get hold of the ball, and this time it's a lovely touch from Paul Mullin to get past Aidan Flint, but Lewis Brunt equal to it this time as Pym goes short to Callum MacDonald. MacDonald back to Lewis Reid, has to go back to the goalkeeper, then Mullin nearly read it, this time Pym with the big boots downfield up towards Will Swan, tries to get the header, and this time Swan gets there first up towards Davis Keeler-Dunn, has it nicked away from him though, as Mansfield Town, it's just not sticking with them at the moment, but Davis Keeler-Dunn tries to win it back. It's played all the way back to Ben Tozer, this time Tozer with a crossfield ball dealt with by Jordan Barry, and that should go out of play from Mansfield Town throw deep inside their own half. Last 5, Craig Armstrong, your thoughts?
Yeah, Jordan Barry I think has been excellent this second half, you know, up front, winning the headers, winning the flick on Cerezo to score his goal, and then dropping into right back, and he's been outstanding there.
Well, here is Will Swan, pushes the ball out as he knocks it past his man, or trying to get past Tom O'Connor, and Will Swan in his eagerness to win the ball back concedes a free kick. You could see what he was trying to do, tries to knock it one way and then run the other. Unfortunately, yeah. Tom O'Connor, with his experience, he knew exactly what was going on there. Yeah, goes to ground. Good
run from Will Swan to start with. You know, he sort of sucked in the defender, gone round him once, and then he's thinking that he's going to overcommit, tries to knock it round him, and it just, you know, easy defending in the end. I think Will has to be a little bit more patient, slow the ball down, slow his defender down to allow him to be able to maybe knock it past him to create an opportunity to get a cross in.
Long kick again from Arthur Okonkwo. Time running out for Mansfield Town, as this time it's Jordan Barry. Don't forget as well, we won't have extra time or penalties if Mansfield Town do equalise, and it does get to 2-2, and we could be looking for a trip to the racecourse ground on a Tuesday night, which I'm sure neither side will want, given their busy schedules. As the ball rolled through to Arthur Okonkwo, Davis Keeler-Dunn tries to win it back, but Okonkwo, despite being only 22 years old, very experienced goalkeeper already, having played for Crewe, although saying that wasn't the best kick from him. It turns out to be a good one though, as it's switched out to McLean, too far out in front of McLean, and it'll go out of play for a Mansfield Town throw. Jordan Barry to take deep inside his own half, in the right back position. This time throws it short to Davis Keeler-Dunn, back to Aidan Flint, volleys that one forward, looking for Will Swan, as it's hammered against Will Swan as Mansfield try and win it back, putting the pressure on Wrexham, but Wrexham are just playing through them at the moment as it's headed away by Aidan Flint. Big splash as the ball lands in the muddy area of the pitch as Wrexham get ready to take another throw. On this left hand side, the Wrexham fans know that they are close to getting through to the second round for the second straight season. They had quite a good run last time out, beating Coventry City and Sheffield United, and this might well go down as another good night if it stays as it is. Meanwhile, Mansfield Town need to deny them that, as Lewis Reid has it back to Jordan Barry, just fires it downfield up towards Will Swan, tries to get the second header as the ball takes a double ricochet. It came off Swan last, and out of play that'll go for a Wrexham throw deep inside their own half. And again, you just get the feeling, Craig, that Mansfield just need one more chance.
Yeah, they do. They've created enough chances this second half to get back into this game. You know, the second goal kills the momentum a bit, but to get the sort of one back straight away from kick-off puts Mansfield in good stead. I think they've been outstanding second half.
Well, Maris just pokes it off Luke Young and gets Mansfield Town to throw in a good area down the right hand side. Jordan Barry wants the ball quickly, but he's being told to stay exactly where he is by the referee as Barry throws it short to Maris. Gets the return ball, does Maris down the right hand side. Ball forward looking for Gale, trying to take a touch, but it might fall for George Maris, who switches it to Steve McLaughlin. Needs to help it on to Callum McDonald down the left hand side. He wants support from McLaughlin. He's a good ball in the area. It is a good ball as well, and it's just behind Gale though, and Will Swan as Wrexham come away again and just boot that ball anywhere will do for Wrexham at the moment, as Lewis Brunt just allows the ball to come across his body, and this time he has to go all the way back to Christy Pym inside his own goal. Just over a minute to go of the 90 plus stoppage time as Aidan Flint brings the ball out from the back, plays it forward to George Maris. Will Swan wants it in the gap down the right hand side. He nicks it as well, does Will Swan. Gets it to the penalty area, pulls it back across. It's behind Flint. Here's Davis Keeler-Dunn to curl. Oh, it just goes wide. It goes wide of Arthur Okwanko's right hand post. Keeler-Dunn just tried to turn and twist on his left foot, and as he turned, just couldn't quite bend it into the bottom corner. It looked like it was going to trickle in, and sadly for Mansfield Town, it goes wide. That felt like that was the moment, Craig.
It did, and I think Keeler-Dunn had a couple of other options. I think Maris or Louis Reid was behind him, and they possibly could have been in a better position to get the strike away. They're coming onto it. But when Keeler-Dunn's been on form this season, he's the goals he's scored and the goals he's created. If you wanted to fall to anyone, you wanted to fall to Keeler-Dunn. He's
had a couple of chances tonight. Keeler-Dunn could have maybe had a hat-trick this evening, but no goals for him tonight. He's already on 8 so far this season, but this time Wrexham wants to take the throw quickly, but they're not going to be allowed to do so because it is a Mansfield Town throw, as the official is about to get ready to put the board up with the how much added time we will have. High ball forward for James Gale, does well to get past his man, still has it James Gale. 8 minutes of stoppage time for Mansfield to stay in the court. Ball across the penalty area, this time dealt with by Wrexham, not very far though, only as far as Davis Keeler-Dunn. He's got George Maris on his right hand side. Here is Maris on the edge of the penalty area, out towards Reid, just at the top of the D as he drills that one towards the back post. There's McDonald, but it's Mendy who heads it up in the air and does well to control and fire that one forward for Ollie Palmer. Ollie Palmer with the return ball to Jacob Mendy, and off they go, pushing over halfway line. Mansfield look tired as they've got a couple over here to Wrexham, but Jacob Mendy went without the ball, still got it somehow as Jacob Mendy. A bit of a shirt pull on him as well, and in the end the chance comes to nothing, and thankfully Mansfield Town had the weather on their side for once, because the muddy pitch took the momentum out of Jacob Mendy's counter-attack there.
Yeah, thankfully for water on the surface water. Counter-attack from Wrexham, with coming from really good build-up play from Mansfield.
Here's James McLean, left-hand side, cross coming in first time towards that back post. It's going to be headed down to the edge of the box. Might drop for either a Jacob Mendy or a Jordan Davies. Meanwhile, it's out to the left-hand side by James Jones. That's not the best ball, and Mansfield Town will have a throw, which George Maris wanted to take quickly. He's not got many options with him as he's being bellowed at by Nigel Clough. Ball headed away, this time it's dealt with. Shouts for handball against Paul Mullin given, and it'll be a free kick to Mansfield Town. 90 seconds gone of the 8 minutes of stoppage time. FA Cup first round, Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham 2. Match night from BBC Radio Nottingham and on 5 Sports Extra and online on the BBC Sport website. It's been quite a game, it's been quite a cup tie, but Mansfield Town have only got about 6.5 minutes to stay in it if they can and get themselves in the hat for the second round. And draw will take place tomorrow as the ball comes in from Callum McDonald in towards Aidan Flint, goes to ground, waved away by the referee. Nothing given as Aidan Flint looked like he'd been sent tumbling to the floor, and the referee waved away any protests, and I think it'll be a free kick anyway to Wrexham. I think the linesman had his flag up, and I don't know, it's going to have to play for a goal kick in the end. Big chance and a big moment.
Yeah, from our point of view, it looks a big moment. It looks like Aidan Flint just bundled in the back, but the referee was having none of it.
Maybe that might have something to do with the one at the other end for Wrexham earlier in the second half. But as it is, Mansfield don't get their penalty, but now they might have the ball as the ball played through to Davis Keeler-Dunn. Good sliding challenge. Oh no, it's Davis Keeler-Dunn trying to get away from his man. Challenge came in the end, and it will be a yellow card for the Wrexham man. I think it might have been Luke Young actually who's gone into the book. And so we're getting a replay of the penalty shout. Zainab Flint went to ground. I don't know, difficult to see from here, but It takes some doing to knock Aidan Flint down to the floor. We'll get a slower version of it as well. I'm not sure. Not entirely sure. Free kick taken short, but Jordan Barry gets it back to Lewis Reed. Needs to fire that into the penalty area. Good ball as well into the box. It's headed away. It might be hammered back into the penalty area. Flicked on towards the back post. Aidan Flint in there as well. Headed away by Mendy, only as far as McDonald. Down the line he goes to Steve McLaughlin. Needs to pick out across if he can. Good ball into the box. Flicked on. James Gale at that near post. Glanced away. Goalkeeper came out to punch and completely missed it. Aidan Flint is sent for a cup of tea. Goes sliding in. On the surface he went about 10 yards or so. Meanwhile here's Lewis Brunt, needs to fire it back into the penalty area. We've played nearly 4 minutes of the 8 of stoppage time. Here's Davis Keeler-Dunn. At the moment Mansfield Town being blocked on the outside of the penalty area, but Keeler-Dunn fires that in. It's an easy clearance away from Wrexham, and off goes Ollie Palmer, looking to drive against his former club. Still got it, Ollie Palmer battling away. Over halfway is Davis Keeler-Dunn, goes in for the challenge. This time McLaughlin goes sliding in and does well to win it back, but only as far as James Jones. McLaughlin again knocks it away for a Wrexham throw, but again Ollie Palmer was allowed to travel a long way, and there was a lot of tired legs out there, Craig.
Yeah, there is. I think Mansfield have given it everything this second half. I think they've been really, really good. You know, to go 2-0 down and then get back into the game, and I think that they've been the better side and should have had more out of it.
Lewis Brunt goes to ground, free kick. Again, as he got between man and ball, and then doing so, trying to get up quickly, he nearly slipped over in the mud. But not long to go for Mansfield Town. We've played nearly 5 minutes of the 8 added on, 3 to go. As the ball is looped up in the air, Will Swan takes it on the chest and turns and finds Davis Keeler-Dunn, who's got 1 or 2 options in front of him, but he had to turn all the way backwards and helps it back to Steve McLaughlin. McLaughlin fires that ball into the area. There's James Gale. It's headed away though by McLean. Good experienced head from him, as it's only as far as Lewis Reed. Reed, crossfield ball towards Callum McDonald. Doesn't get the distance on it though, and this time it's hooked clear by Paul Mullin and up towards Ollie Palmer on halfway, as this time Wrexham look to go dead central, but in the end nobody there for Wrexham, and Mansfield Town will try and come again. Booted downfield by Christy Pym, flicked on, although Aidan Flint trying to get the flick on. The same James Gale gives his man a shove, and it'll be a free kick to Wrexham. And here come the underhand tactics to try and see this game out. They do get the feeling that Mansfield Town, bar some big chance right at the end, might be facing a second straight defeat and a second straight exit in a cup. Yeah,
definitely. But I think it's night and day from the performance on Tuesday night. Tonight I think they've been really, really good. Yes, they've conceded a couple of goals, which I'm sure the manager will be disappointed in how they've come about, but I think they've created enough chances to win 2 games tonight.
Long ball across, looking for Mendy, but it's dealt with by Callum McDonald. Back it goes to Lewis Brunt on sends it up to halfway. This time Aidan Flint with the loose ball. Just wouldn't quite fall for him in the end. Had no idea where the ball was, sadly, and this time it switched out to this left hand side for James McLean, who's just going to run towards the corner flag, and he gets past his man as well in George Maris. Still got it as McLean turns past one and knocks it back. Down the line it goes by Jordan Davis. This time Barry trying to keep it in play, goes out of play off Jordan Barry for a Wrexham throw deep inside Mansfield territory. 90 seconds to go of the 8 minutes of stoppage time, and at the moment Mansfield Town, first things first, they need the ball. It's back with McLean with the throw, throws it short towards Mullin, right by the corner. Davis Keeler-Dunn battling away to try and get there as well, and it comes off Mullin, or so we thought. In fact, it will be a Mansfield Town throw. Needs to take it quickly, thrown into the middle of the pitch for Lewis Reed. Has to go back to Christy Pym. Needs a big boot from him, as it's booted clear downfield into the misty sky at the One Call Stadium, trying to get flicked on by James Gale. This time Ben Tozer just had his arms wrapped around him, and in the end he was too strong for Gale. This time ball switched to this left hand side. Not the best touch from McLean, although it looked like he kept it in play from here, but linesman on this near side said no, and Mansfield Town might have an opportunity here if they get the throw and they take it quickly and just boot it upfield. Not long to go. 6,158 here at the One Call Stadium for this FA Cup first round tie. Well, 30 seconds away from Mansfield Town being knocked out of the FA Cup at the first time of asking. Here is Lewis Brunt, high ball forward, flicked on towards James Gale, helps it on if he can towards Davis Keeler-Dunn. Here's Maris back down the line again to Davis Keeler-Dunn, infield to McLaughlin, ball into the penalty area. It's headed on towards Gale, back post is Swan, hooked up in the air. Still time if Mansfield can recover the ball if they can. Here's Lewis Reed, couldn't quite get a boot to it, but he helps it on. This time towards Maris, hooked into the edge of the penalty area, but McLean will happily gather and boot it left-footed downfield. And Mansfield Town Has to get it back quickly via Christy Pym. Has to be now. Big boot from Pym. Hits Paul Mullin. Deflects. And this time it's Jordan Barry. Has to turn. Has to get rid of it quickly as the referee blows the whistle. And Mansfield Town go out of the FA Cup at the first round. 2 defeats at home in the space of 2 days. The space of a couple of days. And Mansfield Town go out of the League Cup and the FA Cup. And again, a disappointing end to what has been a fantastic game. There's one or two Wrexham players rather, getting quite a bit from the Mansfield Town fans here at the One Call Stadium. But one thing's for certain, Wrexham go through into the hat for round 2, and Mansfield Town bow out of the FA Cup in the first round. Your thoughts on that, Craig Armstrong?
I thought it was a really good performance. You can criticise or you can complain about the goals conceded. I think Mansfield have come up against an excellent Wrexham side with some really good firepower. But Dalby and Mullen were exceptional. The movement, the interplay, the interlink, and how they scored the goals. And I also think a little bit of unfortunate when I think it was Lewis Bruntus tried to clear the ball and it's ricocheted off one of Mansfield defenders to then fall to Dalby to slip him in, and Mansfield had enough chances in this game to get something out of it, if not go on and win it. That proved to be the match winner, of course, but again in one penalty area the ball wouldn't fall for Davis Keeler-Dunn, and then in the other penalty area Mansfield Town, they hit it against themselves and it deflects for Dalby and he lays it on a plate for Mulling. Those are the fine margins in these games. Yeah, you know the difference is the moments in the penalty area on Mansfield, when the fall at the Keeler-Dunn, when it's so, I know why he's not connected to it. He's worried that it's gonna bobble up and go over the bar, and he's just trying to keep his sort of foot over the ball. It goes underneath his foot. Those are the time when you need to finish. You're on top. You have opportunities to score a goal, and it just doesn't come off. And I think Wrexham will come out with this game understanding that they've come up against a really good side, and Mansfield have got to take a lot of heart, a lot of credit. Yes, disappointed to go out with another cup this week, but the league form, get back to that and then push for promotion. I suppose that's the important thing, isn't it? It is the FA Cup and it's disappointing to go out of it, but if they can play like they did tonight in most of their league games, you'd imagine they could still be on target for their automatic promotion. Yeah, I thought the intensity was there, especially second half. I thought Mansfield I think there was a spell in the first minute or two of the second half where Wrexham could have got away with it just from a bit of sloppy play. But I think Mansfield, for a good 40 minutes of this game, second half, got after Wrexham, put them under pressure, made them push the ball back to the goalkeeper, forced them into errors, made the pitch very difficult to play on, and also, had chances to win the game. They certainly did. We'll hear from Nigel Clough a little bit later on, but he said before the game that they obviously they don't want to go out of 2 cup competitions in the space of a couple of days. They've done exactly that. How do they recover from that? Obviously they've got Everton under-21s here at the One Call Stadium on Tuesday, but the next league game is away at Salford City. How do they get themselves prepared for that? They've just got to dust themselves down, make sure that everyone comes out of this game unscathed, and the most important thing is now not looking back at what's happened. It's about looking forward and understanding, actually, you've created a hell of a lot of chances today, and you go and perform like that on against Salford in the league, and in every other game that you follow, you've got more chance of winning games than you are losing. Well, more from Craig Armstrong very, very shortly. I'm going to pop down and chat to Nigel Clough on a night that Mansfield Town have exited the FA Cup at the first round stage. It was Sam Dalby who lashed Wrexham in front after a good ball through to him via Andy Cannon, fed it into the channel, and Sam Dalby picked the top corner with a venomous shot straight past Christy Pym to give Wrexham the 1-0 lead about 23 minutes into the game, and then they doubled that lead. A bit of a defensive mix-up latched upon by Sam Dalby, who put it on a plate for the man who loves the goal in the FA Cup in Paul Mullin. But no sooner were they finished celebrating, Mansfield had the ball in the back of the net. Rhys Oates back with a bang and back amongst the goals as well, lashed it in past Arthur Okonkwo, and despite a siege of pressure on the Wrexham goal, some great saves from Okonkwo, a bit of luck from bad luck in terms of the weather for Mansfield Town. They couldn't quite find a way to get through for a second time in this game, and so here at the One Call Stadium, Mansfield bow out of the FA Cup. It is Mansfield Town 1, Wrexham